appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement, yeah. There's no replacement for persistence, it's a patience, yeah. In this life, I wanna be soaring, to feel sun inside when it's pouring, and I'll fight till anxiety is foreign. I'm so sick of my mind's extortion. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah. Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, This is a statement to appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement, yeah. There's no replacement for persistence, it's a patience, yeah. In this life, I wanna be soaring, to feel sun inside when it's pouring, and I'll fight till anxiety is foreign. I'm so sick of my mind's extortion. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory, yeah. Don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring, just want a life that is worth every day exploring,
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 yeah. This is a statement to appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement, yeah. There's no replacement for persistence. It's a patience, yeah. In this life, I wanna be soaring, to feel sun inside when it's pouring, and I'll fight till anxiety is foreign. I'm so sick of my mind's extortion.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory, yeah. Don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring, just want a life that is worth every day exploring,
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 yeah. This is a statement to appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement, yeah. There's no replacement for persistence. It's a patience, yeah. In this life, I wanna be soaring, to feel sun inside when it's pouring, and I'll fight till anxiety is foreign. I'm so sick of my mind's extortion.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. 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 Yeah, I just wanna be great.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. 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 Yeah, I just wanna be great.
Appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement. Yeah, there's no replacement for persistence. It's a patience. Yeah, in this life, I wanna be soaring to feel sun inside when it's pouring, and I'll fight till anxiety is boring. I'm so sick of my mind's extortion.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. 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 Yeah, I just wanna be great.
Life's a ride, so let's make it count. Cherish every moment, that's what it's about. Tune in together, we're building our groove. Every beat, every laugh, we're ready to move. A little laughter, some love, we're soaring high. Every single episode reaching for the sky. News on the airwaves, spreading good vibes. Friends together, watch how our spirits rise. Kick back, unwind, leave the troubles behind. This podcast is gold, the treasure you'll find. With every word, we'll light up your day. Join the conversation, let's laugh all the way. A little laughter, some love, we're soaring high. Every single episode reaching for the sky. News on the airwaves, spreading good vibes. Friends together, watch how our spirits rise. Kick back, unwind, leave your troubles behind. This podcast is gold, a treasure you find.
What up? Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you today? It's great to see you all, and welcome back to the cafe. I'm rhyming again. Rhyming and stealing, folks. I can't help myself. I'm a poet. Just don't know it, but I can sure show it. I gotta stop. I'm such a dork. Come on in and grab a seat, everybody. Mama Bear will be here shortly. Let's do this thing. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, whatever it may be. Let's do this. Out of control. I was never under control, Mark Schumann. What you talking about, bro? I can rhyme anytime. Just give me a glass of wine. It'll be fine. Hell yeah. See? I told you. I can't help myself, y'all. I can't help myself. Come on, Mama Bear. Let's do this. Thingy dang, a dang, a dang, a dang, dang, dang. Come on now. Good morning, everybody. It's great to see you guys today. I hope you had a great evening. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Thank you all so very much for joining us. And wait a minute. I'm a magician too. Watch this, folks. Abracadabra, alacup. Boom! It's the bear. Good morning, Mom Bear. Oh, I must have scared her again. Come on, damn it. Move it around. There we go. Can you hear me there, Bear? Mama Burr, Mama Burr, Mama Burr. Okay. So, Mama Bear's a mime today. We're just going to look at her little gray box there, and we're good with that. So welcome, everybody, again. Thank you for joining us today. Come on, you can do this. Let's try it again. And she said bye. I must have seriously scared her. I scared her away. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Nope. Boom. Hey, there she is.
Hi.
It worked. Okay. And I fixed it. Hello. Are you good now?
Hello. I think so.
Good. Good to see you this morning.
Hi.
Hi,
everybody.
We actually get a visual of her too, folks. That's exactly.
I look like hell.
You look wonderful. Stop it. You don't look like hell. So, how's your day going so far?
So far, so good.
Tis great. I'm a little wired today, as you can tell. If you haven't.
Yeah. Good Lord.
I don't know why. Because it's sunny and warm. Maybe. Finally. I don't know. Who knows?
Not here. It's rainy and cloudy.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry to hear that. Yes, she does. That's right, SRB. She looks beautiful. Always.
Aww.
Always. And Mama Bear is doing. Are you live? Yes.
Yep.
You are. Yes, she is, guys. So we need to make sure that we hit that like button because she will be back. We will be back this afternoon.
Yep. Got to get my watch hours.
3 p.m. today, Eastern Standard Time. Mama Bear is putting out an amazing show. I will be joining her, but she's doing the most with it, folks. Go ahead and explain it there, Bear.
So I'm gonna go over some statistics and things of the death penalty, and then I'm gonna tell you guys about a case where a guy was actually arrested, convicted, and executed, and they ended up about 20 years later finding all of the evidence that the police did not do, and that he's innocent.
And now he's gone. You can't bring him back from that. So therefore, folks, this story she just explained to you is exactly why we have been all over the Idaho 4 case about the Brian Kober situation. Exactly why. Because whether he's guilty or not guilty, we need to make sure of that because an innocent man has died already. And this has happened more than once, okay?
Oh, yeah.
That should not have died. That didn't commit a crime. And his life was taken from him, his family, his everything. It's gone. And you can't just reverse that, folks. And that is why we do what we do in those cases. Delphi and Idaho, Karen Reed, all these cases to ensure that the right person is convicted and the wrong person isn't. Because it's murder as far as I'm concerned when they do that.
Oh, yeah.
It is what it is. So that's why we need to watch what she's putting out there, guys. It's a great show. It's going to be a great show. It's a great topic, and it's very important to be heard. So I'm excited for it and looking forward to it. Sorry, I'm trying to do 3 things, and I can't even remember my handwriting. Mama Bear's link is pinned at the top of the chat, folks. Please click that, jump over, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, please, and thank you. And by the way, if you haven't done that yet, what are you doing with your life? You know I'm going to say it every day. All be subscribed. You should all be hitting that notification bell and waiting for her amazing shows to come out. Just saying. So who do we got in here today, Mama Bear? Let's see. Dan Smith, which is our Bry guy, Mr. Brian.
That's right.
Brian's undercover. He's in the witness protection program, so now he's got to go by a different name. It's okay.
Yeah.
Social Glow, welcome back. It's been a while. Great to see you. SRBBB, good to see you today. Of course, the mysterious minds of Mama Bear's in the house. Officials back in the house. Good to see you today. Moonlit Baby, welcome back. Wonderful to have you here. Wonderful to see you. Miss JCJ, JCN, great to see you. Feminem, good to see you today. Miss Tandy's in the house. Welcome back. Great to see you. Be Real is being real right here. Good to see you, Be Real. Esther Hahn, welcome back. Wonderful to have you here. Tomboy Charm just flew in on her bird. Hold on here. Moonlit Baby, wonderful to see you. Miss Jody Walters in the house this morning. Great to have you here, Jody. Great to see you today. Oh. I really need new glasses, y'all. Dr. Seuss in the house. Hey, hey. Did everybody have their green eggs in hand today? Am I am? No way. Hey, hey.
Did you see SRB's comment?
No. North Carolina Mountain Man, welcome back, bro. Good to see you. Good to have you here. What did she say?
It's on your side. It says the link that you have pinned brings everybody to an old live of mine, not the one right now. So fix it.
Cat K, welcome back to you. Sassy Cassie, I will do that. I don't know how that happened. But Mark Schumann, welcome back, brother. Good to see you. Wait a minute, you guys. I'm sorry. She just completely floored me with that whole thing because I was concentrating on 2 other things. And you know I'm kind of slow. So let's see here. Show.
It's like a month ago.
I watched my show from a month later. A month ago. I don't know what the hell happened with that. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Give me 1 minute. Hold on. And of course, everything is so slow.
I'm sorry, Bry guy.
What's the matter?
He said spine crap continues.
Oh, Jesus, Brian. Sorry to hear that, buddy. I'm glad you're back, though. I'll say that much. If nothing else, we've missed the hell out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's worried about you, wondering where you've been. Still don't understand what the deal is. Brady B, the OG, welcome back to you. I'm not going to be able to get... Can you, call yourself, Brian Smith?
Right.
It might work out a little better because I keep looking at you thinking that you're Danger Zone and Brian. I need to see the word Brian, the name Brian. We like the name Brian. By the way, y'all, thank you for joining us. 42 peeps in the house, 24 likes. Let's flip that around and make a match. And today we are, of course, doing our typical morning show. We're looking at the Jack and Lily situation and the updates there. We're looking into the monster on the loose. Still not found, from my understanding. Travis Decker. What a monster that one is. Other updates that we have going on. Of course, we're going to be looking into our crazy, weird stuff that we got going on out here sometimes. in the news, current events. You know how that goes. Let's see, Good Samaritan. So grab your box of tissues. Hopefully by the end we can laugh a little, leave with a smile, and move on and get prepared for the 3:00 Eastern Standard Time show that Mama Bear is putting on. Awesomeness. Mrs. Amir, welcome. Good to see you today. Fry Guy, that's it. I'm awfully picky. I just don't want to call him the wrong thing. Not picky at all. You're picky. Quit picking your nose, Cassie. You all were right. Hope Hitler just doing hot air. Well, we'll see, Brian. We'll see what happens. This 18th hearing coming up, there could be. I don't have hopes. We'll see. Captain Jenks, good morning, bro. Welcome back. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us today. Just trying to pick a fight. As always, child. Don't make us put you in the corner, Cassie. Just because you're the youngest one in here. Time to grow up, Cass. Start acting your age. Jeez. Telling you. Miss Cat K, great to see you. Eggs and toast, Mimit said. But it wasn't green?
Hiya, Idatos.
There she is. Talked to her this morning over in the Outcast Dago. Great show last night for Outcast, as always, for those of you that joined us over there last night. Idatos in the house. Great to see you today. Thank you for joining us today. Yeah, that's right. Takes a village to raise a child, doesn't it, SRB? For those of you that don't catch on to that, SRB and Cassie are mother and daughter. If you haven't got that yet. I told you guys it's a family situation over here. We do it all the way around. Sure does. That's all right. We love Cassie, however she is. There she is, Miss Christy. I was hoping you'd show up today. Great to see you. Is her chicken shit ass hiding over it? See? Look how she talks to her mother, you guys. You're going to get whooped. I'm telling you. See, here's the deal. This is why she talks to her mom, because they're both in different states, guys. That's why she does it. She knows she's going to get away with it until her mom gets to her. Miss Sherry's in the house. Good morning, dear. Good to see you today. Well, it is. Yeah, we don't know where that came from because SRB is probably one of the sweetest people you ever meet. And then we got the sassy one. You're good, Christy. Wherever you want to be, you can be. No big deal, guys. Please make sure, though, that you're jumping over to the Mama Bear side. Hit that like button. Share it out. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell and all of that stuff. Christy, I hope you're having a great day. It's wonderful to see you here. And like I said, I'm glad you're here. We were just talking about you yesterday. So it's perfect that you showed up today. Let me see something here. And there you go. All handled now. There it is. I will put your father on a plane. That's great. I love it. She said, do it. I'm not afraid of him. She says that now.
Uh-huh.
And when Daddy shows up at the front door, oh, Dad, I missed you. I love you. So glad you're here. Hug, 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 kiss, kiss. Congratulations, Miss Christy. Welcome to the crew.
Congrats, Christy.
We had a little meeting about that yesterday. I've been wanting to do this for a while. It's great to have you here. You've been with us for a long time. And we really appreciate that. I appreciate all the help. You already are a moderator, basically, in here anyway. And so we decided yesterday that it was time. So welcome to the family. Welcome to the team. And I appreciate you very much. Excuse me. I'd go toe-to-toe with the old man. You need to screenshot this stuff, SRB, and then show it to him. Just saying. Now we're see, my kids say that too. You're an old man now. You can't handle this. You can't handle that. Blah, 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 blah. Push me. Let's see what happens, bud. Official. What is that? That's awesome. That took a minute to do. Put it all together. That's why I just say hello, everyone. They'll tell them, well, she's really on one today, ain't she? And
She is.
She said done. They're screenshotted. See what happens? It's a family occasion.
She said she's feeling better and the sass is strong today. So apparently,
that is. I'm glad you're feeling better. Did you do something different, Sassy, to make it change, or did you just sleep differently? Maybe. Absolutely, Christine says thank you. You guys are awesome. Yes, I've been here since the start of Idaho Case. Dago was my first YouTube channel I watched, and we love you. I remember when you told me that your name, the other name you went by, that's kind of what solidified everything. And then I showed the mod. They were like, "Oh my god!" I think SRB was going, "Oh, now I remember her." So yeah, because I was saying. So yes, you've definitely been here a long time. So, and Brandy or Cassie can get you into the Discord, the moderator channel, and stuff like that, and get that all rolling for whenever. Okay. So thank you again, Christy, for everything you've already done for the channel, everything you do for the channel on a regular basis, and thank you for becoming part of the team. We appreciate that so very much. You've always been part of the family, but
yeah.
Stitches is in the house. What's going on? That's what I thought. Soaked the nectar so stretched over the couch and see? And the Motrin thing, we told you. You're good, official. I love your avatar. I'm a huge Michael Myers fan. Probably my favorite horror movie ever. All right, guys, come on in, grab a seat. 48 peeps in the house, 31 likes. We're getting there. Please make sure to hit that like button if you will. And y'all, if you want to become a meatball and jump in the sauce with the rest of us, that's how you do it. Thank you, SRB. And if you happen to have, that's the original one. Yeah, she'll throw in the link if you have an iPhone too. You know what? The Terrifier thing is a bit too much for me. Some of that stuff is like, I don't know if it's because I'm getting old. I love all that horror stuff and the blood and gore sometimes, but that one, they've done some nasty shit in those movies. It's gotten to be a bit much. It's interesting because the guy doesn't say a word. He doesn't do anything. It's weird, but yeah, it's pretty gory. It's not, I'm not saying I won't watch it, Feminem. Just saying it's a bit gory. There's the other link for the iPhone, guys, if you need it. If you want to become a meatball and jump in the sauce with the rest of us, there it is. Yeah, they are pretty gruesome, Brian. I agree. Still a little sore, but I'm able to have good. Yeah, maybe it was just like an overextended muscle or something, Cass. Hopefully it's nothing. We talked about it last night for a while, and hopefully it's just that muscular, like you said. That one, I swear to God, even my brother who's autistic blurted, this is someone's fetish. Has to be. Yeah, that's that's great. Yeah, that's crazy shit. When I realized he was a mime type person and he didn't talk, it's so weird to me how they did. And they've made 3 of them and they're like box office smash, you know, it's crazy. Well, you know the thing, guys, we'll get started in a minute. You know, I like to ramble about stupid shit. Now arteries are popping, right? The original Michael Myers movie, the original Halloween, John Carpenter did. If you think about it, there was none of that gore and ripping eyeballs out, smashing guts and all that stuff in that movie. You didn't see any of that. The anticipation of it is what scared you. You knew it was going to come, you know, right? You knew it was coming, but they never showed it. John Carpenter said that's how he made that movie. That was a very low budget movie when he made it, like stupid low budget, and didn't even expect it to be anything really, is what he said in his documentary interview that I watched. And they would always work up to the point where he was going to get Jamie Lee, but you never saw blood and gore. And I'm like, see, that tells you it can be done with all of this crazy special effect bullshit. all the, watching somebody rip somebody's intestines out and throw them, wrap around their neck and squeeze their eyeball. I mean, it's crazy shit that they do nowadays. It's all, CGI stuff, but still, you can do all this and scare the hell out of somebody without having to do any of that stuff. So I think that's pretty wild. I thought that showed the talent that John Carpenter had and the amazing movies that he's made, So just a thought. Uh-oh. Well, I hope everything's okay. Scott Metalhead's in the house. Welcome from the UK, my friend. Official said Friday the 13th from the 80s. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. See, they knew how to do that back then. Probably because they didn't have the ability. Like, I took classes, special effects and theatrical makeup classes from the guy that did some of the Friday the 13th stuff. I can do all that stuff, that special effects stuff. I loved it. Tom Savini. And they showed how they did all that stuff. It's really cool, actually. But you don't have to do that to scare people. Just showing the street or house, all of a sudden Michael appears. It'll scare the hell out of you. Just seeing the shadow, as they called him, standing at the corner of the house, and it's dark, and you just see him standing there like, okay, I'm gonna go pee myself. I'll be right back. Because the anticipation of what could happen is what gets you. Thank you, Cassie. Miss Sandra's in the house. Blair Witch, great low budget movie. Yes, that was genius, Sandra. The original Blair Witch Project movie, the first one they did, was absolutely genius. Do you know how much money the movie made? They made so much money on that movie. You have no idea. And they did nothing to make it. It was a couple people with backpacks in the woods and a tent and a video camera. That was that movie. That's all it was. And they made millions upon millions upon millions on that movie because the anticipation of what the story was bringing scared the shit out of people. It was insane. Mark Schumann.
It's like, what was the one where I think it was Sandra Bullock. She's she's blindfolded or you couldn't speak, one of the two.
Mm-hmm. You couldn't look at these things. They were on the boat and all that. Yes. I can't think of the name of it.
Can't either.
Damn it. I just watched that not too long ago. She was out on the boat with her child and yeah. Yes, Sherry, The Shape. That's what Michael Myers is referred to as. Bird Box. Yep. Isn't that right? Bird Box?
I think so.
Yes, I think so. And yes, Brian, you're right. The advertising was what made it. It did. Truly did.
Yep, that is what it is.
Cap says Friday the 13th filmed in New Jersey. That makes sense. That's a thing to do, folks. I mean, if you have a video camera nowadays, a piece of property with an old barn on it, some woods, do your thing. Yeah, you don't have to have all the blood, guts, and gore. No. Ripping somebody's heart out and eating it and shaving your legs and watching your skin fall. I mean, you don't have to do all that shit nowadays to scare somebody. Look at the Conjuring movies. Good God almighty. Listen, I've been into horror movies my whole life. I've loved it. I collect horror stuff. Everything. A lot of you guys know that I have a comic book thing of Freddy and Jason right in front of me. Okay. But when the Conjuring movies came out and like The Grudge and The Ring, that shit's what scared me finally. The jerky movements that they're making in the movies. And I'm like, what the hell is this shit? And the way the Conjuring stuff comes forth, because what it is your mind tells you this could be real. This could be realistic. This thing could happen, as compared to some of this other shit where you see a dude jump out with 5 knives stuck to his fingers and he's slashing you up in your sleep. Come on. Okay. But the other stuff, when it seems like in your mind it could be real, it scares the shit out of you. So yeah, the mind stuff. Exactly. The blood and gore never scared me. I thought that was cool back in the day, but now it's just like, God, that's kind of gross. I'm getting weak. I'm getting old, Softening up. The jump scares, yeah, that was always fun back in the day. I'd be laying on the floor watching a scary movie, Friday the 13th. My parents, now that I think about it, it's kind of like torture. They were sick. They'd be in the couch behind us, and right at the moment when I was going to do it, they'd throw a tissue box at me or something. I about stood on my head, freaking out. And they're laughing their ass off in the background like, you guys are evil. Then you try
Like
to-
something my parents would do.
That's their enjoyment. That's how our parents enjoyed themselves back in the day.
Right?
Yes. Good point, official. Good point. Sometimes they go overboard with it, though. Is that Christy? Christy. Yes, that's Christy. By the way, Christy is now part of the team, folks. So respect her as you would respect, not that anybody wouldn't, but one of the other moderators, because she is now one. So once again, congrats. Poltergeist. Yes. Love the original. Not a fan. I hate that they've taken all these movies and redone them. Leave them alone. I just watched the new Final Destination official. It's not as good as the others, I don't think. I mean, it is what it is, but the villain, Jaws. My wife loves Jaws. She loves sharks and hates them at the same time, if that makes any sense. She's petrified of them, but she loves them. Welcome, Miss Rach. The second Poltergeist sucked, in my opinion. I just didn't like it. Craig T. Nelson made that whole movie, as far as I'm concerned. The original. Heather. What was that little blonde girl's last name? Carol Ann. I can't think of her last name. Anyway, she made the movie, in my opinion. There hasn't been any good ones, Trish. They're all the same premise. I mean, you can almost sit down and go, okay, let's see, about 9 o'clock, they'll jump out. This one will get stabbed. 10:30, that one will rip their guts out and hang them with them, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's pretty much how it works. You can kind of tell how it's going to go. Thank you, Tomboy O'Rourke. That's it. Heather O'Rourke. Yes, Craig T. Nelson, Heather O'Rourke, Joe Bethwell. I mean, the cast was amazing. And the weird thing is that's kind of the legacy of that movie creeps you out because Heather O'Rourke passed away. Dana, I can't think of her last name, the other sister, she passed away. There was a couple other things that happened on set with that movie, and it almost gives it more of a mystical, a mysterious reason to watch it, if that makes sense. It's crazy. Demi Gorgon, where cast? Speaking of, any of you Stranger Things fans, I believe that the new season is going to be coming soon. I'm excited for that. I love that show. And then, yeah, there's like, 15 screams now? They're trying to catch up with Friday the 13th. Dominique Dunn, that was her name. Thank you, Tom. Jesus, Tomboy. You're like the information festival today. Beach Babes in the house. Good to see you. Go into the light, Carol Ann. No, don't. They ordered it 15 times because I kept whipping out. The mom's came. That's nice. They'll usually help you fix that kind of stuff. I've done that before. Lucy's in the house. Lucy in the sky. Welcome, Miss Heather. By the way, guys, I'm going to address something real quick here before we get into anything. First off, anybody that doesn't want to be here does not have to be here. We all know that, okay? It's a choice that you all have. My moderators do an amazing job of what they do. They're very respectful. They're very good people. They know what they're doing. They've been here for a long time, most of them. And even the ones that haven't, they're still amazing at what they do. They treat everybody with respect, as I expect everyone to treat them as well. We're on YouTube, okay? We're on YouTube, mind you. My name on my channel is Dago. My real name is Joe. Mama Bear's name is Mama Bear. She doesn't choose to put her real name out. And most other people don't either. That's why it's YouTube. You don't have to use your real names. And people got upset about this, I guess. Somebody did at some point. And it doesn't make any sense to me. Why? Why do you need to use your real name? It's your choice to do what you want to do. So there's no reason to get upset with a moderator for that. In turn, one of my moderators asked somebody to stop a couple times, and that person was removed, okay? Because we don't do drama in here. And any way that they can, they don't do these things on their own. They're told to do this by me and Mama Bear, okay?
Yep.
They don't make their own decisions to do these things. After the fact, they do. When they're told, they know what their job is. They know what they're supposed to do. They do it like they're supposed to. So it's not anything they do. It's what we want them to do because we don't want drama in here. We keep it that way by doing that kind of stuff. And there's no reason for confrontational things to happen between people. We respect each other. If that can't be done, then, you know, you just don't want to be here, obviously. So for anybody that doesn't understand how that works, that's how that works over here. It makes for a very nice community. That's why this community is such a great community. That's why these people are such great people, because we can do that without bringing drama to each other. So I just want to say that. And I want to thank my moderators again for doing the amazing things they do. So no, they've done nothing wrong. They do nothing wrong. Everything they do is because we tell them to. So please understand that, guys. And they do it amazingly. And I'm very grateful and proud of every one of them. Rhode Island housewife in the house. So that's all I wanted to say, folks, just to get that out of the bag. And when there's an issue here within this channel, by the way, if there is one, I'm here. Mama Bear's here. Okay. We talk here on our channel about things. We don't go to other people's channels and take business over there, because that's their show. I don't want to ruin their show with business that we have. That's just not how we do that. Just as much as another creator would not come in here and bring any business they have in here and try to ruin our show. That's not how you do that. We're all adults. Okay. We act like adults. We treat each other like adults, and we have a great time with it. That's all I'm saying. Okay. There's only a couple rules in this channel at all, and that's respect yourselves, respect each other, and respect the moderators. That's it. I've been saying it from day one. You don't even have to respect me. I don't care. Respect them and Mama Bear, and that's all that matters to me. Now, they'll tell you different. They won't allow for that. For anybody to disrespect me, they don't like when I say that, but it is what it is. That's all I'm saying, folks. It's very simple stuff. I'm 50 years old. I'm not down with the middle school bullshit, okay? We're here to talk about true crime, and on the morning show, we talk about a little bit of everything, because that's what we do. And a lot of people seem to enjoy it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. But there's no reason for drama. There's no reason for tension between people. If you don't like somebody, don't talk to them. It's that simple. And vice versa. There's many people I don't care for. I just don't talk to them. And you can be in a room with somebody with 35, 45 other people and avoid somebody. You don't have to go back and forth, make snide comments, none of that stuff. You just leave it be. That's all. I don't feel young, official, but thank you. But anyway, guys, I'm just going to leave it alone at that point. That's all I'm going to say. Everybody is always welcome here. My door's always open. There's people that have left and come back, people that we have taken out and they've come back. I give people many chances. My moderators don't, because they see these things happening more often than I do. Okay. So they get tired of it. They're always very respectful though, folks. Always. They're very good at what they do. Very respectful. They're very good people. And if they weren't, I wouldn't have the repeated emails and comments and over and over and over again about how amazing they are.
Yep.
So one person thinking they're a certain type of way as compared to 10,000 people, sorry. Anything, Mama Bear?
Nope, you said it perfectly. There's also the ignore option that you can right click on a person.
Agreed. So that's all I got to say. I love and adore every one of you that comes in here. I appreciate you with every ounce of my soul, folks, for being here. But not if I have to deal with that. That's all I'm saying. And you guys are better than that anyway. 99.95% of this community are just amazing. There's a couple people that pop in and out of here that are irritating, that do this, do that. So just don't pay attention to them. That's it. So that's, again, I want to thank every one of my moderators for doing the amazing jobs that they do, for the support that they give us, for the love that they show to this channel, to myself, to Mama Bear, and to all of you, because they are those amazing people. So thank you again to all of you, and God bless. We appreciate you very much. And I think that'll do it. Anybody I may have missed? Let me see here. I don't think so. So we're going to get to moving. That's right. Thank you, Christy. See, there she is, starting her duties already. Cute, chat, classy. That's right. Nothing but, guys. That's why this community stays the way it is. Meg Pease, welcome back to you. Good to see ya. I think I got everybody. If I didn't, I will catch up. So Again, guys, we're still following the Jack and Lily Sullivan situation. Like I said, we're going to get into that, the Travis Decker situation, and everything else we do on a regular basis. So thank you for being here. Give me one moment. I'm going to go ahead and get things rolling. And Stuart Jones, good afternoon. Good morning. Good to see you. Give me one moment, Mama Bear. Let me get this going. Talk or whatever. Go for it, please.
Me? Talk? What?
Yeah.
Hi, guys. I just saw. Hello, Stuart Jones. Yeah, we have to remind him every once in a while, Sherry. Thank you, Rhode Island housewife. They are pretty great. Bri, you and me both. But there are some people that just love the drama and just they feed off of it. And I have 3 teenagers. I don't need any drama. Just saying. Yeah, that's true, Cassie. It's easier to talk smack behind a computer screen or on a keyboard than it is. 100 degrees in New Jersey. Holy moly. It is. Here in Indiana, it is 70 degrees. It's cloudy. It's raining. And I was trying to see. So the humidity must be high because it says it feels like 76. Ew. Yeah, the humidity is 93%. I could do without the 93% humidity. Is that genetic when they all happen to have the same? Right. I agree, official. It must be.
All right, all right, all right. All right, guys, we're ready to go. I think. Yeah, it's hot and humid here too. I heard you guys talking about that. I could do without the humidity. I think it's. Oh, wait a minute.
Hmm.
What the hell? I'm gonna throw up. Did the Cleveland Browns trade off Shadir
Oh,
Sanders?
Lord.
Oh my God! You got to be kidding me! Oh, this is so irritating. I hate the Browns anymore. They do the dumbest things. It's 82 degrees right here today, right now, already. All right, Miss Christie, be safe out there. We will be here when you get back. If you get back, of course. I can't believe that. I'm gonna throw up if they did. I'm just so tired of them doing these stupid things. We didn't even start the damn
I'm
season.
gonna laugh.
Unbelievable.
And you have your. Yeah, mute.
What?
The echo.
Oh my God. I don't understand why this does this. We can't talk. I have to run that thing anyway. I'll be quiet.
Video. It is Wednesday morning, the 4th of June. And
yes, guys, we're jumping into Michelle first, and we'll go from there.
Yes, I'm real. In this video, we're going to continue the discussion into the disappearance of two Nova Scotian siblings, 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan from Lansdowne Station. And in this video, I'm going to address some comments and one particular theory that a lot of you seem to have. So, that's the question. Let's go. Before we get into that, I just want to highlight that there has been a vigil for Lily and Jack. This was held at the RCMP station. This is a couple of nights ago now, and I just want to play you a short clip from CBC.
Tonight is about saying a prayer, and we're going to light the way home for them.
A paper lantern for 4-year-old Jack, another for 6-year-old Lily, released into the twilight sky as a beacon of hope.
Illuminate the path for Lily and Jack. Guide their footsteps home.
One by one, people placed candles, teddy bears, and angels outside the Stellarton RCMP detachment, a growing memorial as many questions are still unanswered.
Investigators remain committed to exploring all possibilities surrounding the children's disappearance. We want to thank all those who provided tips and information. Please know that we're fully engaged in finding out what happened to Lily and Jack.
Some family members of the two children looked on as dozens of community members showed they care.
It's like every parent's worst nightmare. You don't ever want to have to ever go through something like this. And I think it's good to show them that their community is here for support if they need it.
Search and rescue volunteers have scoured a total of 8.5 square kilometers surrounding the children's home. The latest search happened this past weekend when crews focused on a pipeline trail where a boot print was previously found. Tell me what that's been like living here in this community and having to watch this unfold day after day.
It's hard because with Facebook, you're on Facebook every morning, check and see if there's an update. You go to the RCMP site to see if there's an update. And then you hear about searches, and your heart just breaks every time because you pray that today will be the day that they bring them home.
Yeah. Every day you think, let today be the day. I do exactly the same thing. And I'm many, many miles away in a different country, and I do the same thing. When I cover a case like this, I get really invested in it. So I check multiple times a day to see if there's an update, to see what people are saying, just anything. Just grasping at straws, because I have absolutely no idea what happened to Lily and Jack Sullivan. I don't have one theory, and a month down the line, this is so unusual for me not to have any idea. Normally by now in a case, I've got a dominant theory that I don't necessarily stick with. Sometimes I do, but as new information comes in, I might change my mind, and that's how investigations should work. You shouldn't be married to any one theory, as I say again and again and again and again. But at least I have an...
Good morning, Canadian Cat Lady. Wonderful to see you here. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you're having a great day and a great start to your day. Always a happy to see you when you show up. Thank you for being here.
An idea. But in this case, it seems that, yeah, wandering away is possible. Abduction's possible. Foul play from someone close to the family or in the family, yeah, that's also possible. I don't have any one theory. And that's why in this case, I'm casting my net wide. And I'm discussing everything, because I don't know what's going to be important down the line. So when an alleged cousin of Daniel, the stepdad, comes out and speaks, I'm going to talk about that. When family members post, might be family members who don't know the children at all, I'll still cover it. If you want to consider that misinformation, that's your choice. I have been replying to some people in my comments saying that I'm spreading misinformation and to stop. I've been giving a somewhat standard response, which is this. Might change wording a little bit, but listen, I don't know. I don't know what happened to these kids. And it's deeply, deeply concerning. So any piece of information that comes out, I'm going to consider it. I mean, look, if it's really, really, really wild, then I'm not going to. you know, anything like Bigfoot or we're beamed up by aliens or a psychic said this and a psychic said that. Those kind of things I don't cover. Is it technically possible they were beamed up by aliens? I guess so. Is it likely though? Come on now. But where someone comes out claiming to be a family member, unless it's totally obvious that they're lying, then I'm going to consider it. So I don't consider talking about an alleged cousin misinformation. I don't know what is accurate and what isn't. And it's not always possible to verify sources without going to that person and giving them a DNA test and giving Daniel a DNA test and asking for their passport and their driver's license. How can you verify it? Look, if that person comes on camera and there's people in the community that know them, then I guess that's considered verification. There are people in my comments who've said, yeah, that's Logan. And yeah, she is Daniel's cousin. There are some local people who are watching. But then, I don't know they're telling the truth. How do you know they're telling the truth? I'm going to cover the stuff, whether you like it or not. Sorry. I always have that caveat, this is unverified. I'm not stating this as a fact. And it's up to you, the audience, to decide whether or not you're going to consider that information important or not. And if you don't consider it important because you don't think it's truthful, that's fine. I like you anyway. Unless you're really rude, and then I'm just going to block you. But I like differences of opinion. I invite comment. I say at the end of every single video, what do you think happened? What do you think? What are your thoughts? Say those things every time. So anyway. Okay, so I want to get into this theory that a lot of people, especially yesterday, have said. There's a variation on the theme, but they're all along the same lines. And honestly, I can't discount it. I can't discount anything. But why? Why would she do this? Let's explain the theory if you don't know anything about it. So the theory goes something like this, that Malia, the children's mother, has planned the children's disappearance so that she can go back to the reservation. I believe you call them reserves in Canada. She's arranged it with her mother to go back to the reserve and take Lily and Jack with her. So they've orchestrated this quote-unquote disappearance. Why would she do that, though? If she wanted to leave Daniel...
See, this is funny because this is something we've talked about here. And Alicia actually has said what she's getting ready to say here in a second. I think if this situation is what it is, there's a different angle to it than just leaving him. Is why it would be if it was. Because she's right. Michelle's right. Alicia was right. If you wanted to leave him, you just leave him. You know what I mean? It's not just that. There's something else going on with this, I think. So if it was premeditated, if it was something they planned, her and her mom, because I'm telling you, her mom is involved in this somehow. If that's the case, okay, that's just my opinion. But if it's not just to leave him, there's something else with this, because it would be. Alicia absolutely hit that on the head the other day when we talked about it, and said if she wanted to leave him, she'd just leave him. You don't have to go through all this to do that, which is very true. Okay. There's something else on the backside of this that's attached to it. I don't think that was the plan. I don't think the plan was to get away from him initially. I think it was something altogether different that just played into it when her mom got involved. And so there's something there that I like I said, I've been saying this for a couple of days. Can't put my finger on it, but it is a theory, a really big one now, that's been bouncing around because of the way things are playing out, you guys, the way things are showing themselves to us. It just looks like it's so strange how she like she took off. She left in the middle of a press conference. She's not been back. She hasn't said a word on the media. She hasn't done anything. She just poof. She's gone. She's in hiding. And it was just kind of convenient how it all played out. Her mom showed up and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And this guy, and I truly feel bad for this guy at this point, you guys. If I turn out to be wrong, then I was wrong. But there's a lot of us, I think, at this point are like heartfelt sad for him, okay? Because he's been the only one that we've seen that has genuinely seemed to put forth any kind of effort into finding these kids from day one. Any kind of interviews that he's done them all. She's not done but one. He showed emotion. She hasn't done that. And he's repeatedly given up himself, his phone, his offer to do polygraphs, all these things to prove himself. She's not done any of that. So that's why everybody's looking at this woman as if like, what are you doing? And what did you do? That's why it comes out this way. Okay. And it's sad that that has to work that way, but you've done this to yourself, Malia, not him. And you've allowed, in my opinion, Cyborg Mama, welcome. Good to see you. In my opinion, she allowed her mother to get involved in this situation. And I think it's made it worse. Her mother's very manipulative, as we've been told. And I can believe that. I can't. So it's just, the whole thing is sad. And once again, just like with Sebastian, when all this drama unfolds around these cases, the only people that suffer are the kids. And there's enough of that. So just very sad to me. Yeah, they're very sketchy. Very sketchy. That's a great statement. She, not that I know of, Cap, she's never offered to do one that's been put out there, and I think she needs to take one. Daniel did it. Why can't you do it? Just do it. Get it over with. If you have nothing to hide, just do it. Denise, good morning. Good to see you. All you guys, thank you so much for joining us. For those of you that are in the back, not in chat, we appreciate you just as much. Thank you. And please, please make sure to hit the like button on the way through the door, if you will. Let me see. So yeah, that's my thought on that, guys. And I'll shut up now and let her finish.
And go back to the reserve. We believe she's with her mother. Is she on the reserve though or not? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. But why would she do this? Why would she orchestrate something that would put her in legal jeopardy? Maybe, possibly, lying to the cops at the very least. You know, they've put out a massive effort looking for these children. If it turned out that she lied the whole time and the children are safe and they're with her, that's pretty shocking. It'd be pretty disgusting. But why would she do it? I just genuinely don't understand why would she do it, because Lilly and Jack are not Daniels.
There's one thing that we've questioned. I think one of the reasons why we built that theory to an extent over here is we come to find out, SRB kind of alerted us to this the other day, that they were trying to get these kids. I can't think of the way to explain how they do this, what it's called, but they're trying to have them certified native. I think that's how it's put, something like that. And they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it until they went missing, and then poof. All of a sudden, now they were accepted as being native, which is kind of strange to me. Okay. And I think when that happened, all of us kind of went, really? So, well, for whatever that is and why it works that way, that is what has made all of our antennae go up and go, wait a minute, something ain't right here. Okay. Well, along with this situation. And they won't allow the baby. Exactly, Elisa. They won't allow the baby to become registered as native. I guess that's how you put it. And it's very strange to me. Now, is it because they're not full native? But I don't think Malaya is full native. I think she's probably half and half. And that's very weird. Like I said yesterday, this is another reason I should say that we miss Sherry so much, Wisdom Speaks, because she was native and she knew all these rules. She knew all these answers that we would ask, and damn, not to mention all the other amazing things she was. It's hard to find the answers to some of these things, and especially since it's in Canada, we don't have the answers for that too. But the status, that's what it is. Thank you, Cat Lady. Their native status. Yes. Thank you so much, Cat Lady. So that's what I meant. And thank you, Cassie, guys. If you're interested in any of our merch, go check out that link Cassie dropped. She works on that stuff in there. She creates some of that stuff in there, and she's doing a great job with it. So please go check it out if you're interested. But yeah, and it's weird to me that they had to go missing to get that status. It's in their blood. You can't deny that. So why do you have to go through hoops and red tape to make sure that happens? I do too, Cap, very badly. All of us do. So again, it has made me question that scenario. Welcome, LL. Good to see you. Well, that's the thing I don't understand, LL. Maybe the father didn't want it to happen. Wouldn't sign something for Meadow. Okay, that's interesting. But no, here's the thing though, is they had tried repeatedly, LL, to get the other two kids status to be native. They wouldn't accept it until they went missing. And then all of a sudden it was an automatic thing. It's weird. So that's why I wondered, does that play into this somehow? You know what I mean? I don't understand it. Yeah, acceptance to the reservation and the native status, right? So it's very strange, guys. It's just that is what has made us look at this kind of sideways and go, was this a ploy to get that done? If that's the case, that's disgusting. But I know that sounds like a reach, but was this thing a ploy to be able to get her children's native status? I don't know. Do y'all think that she had to wait until she got paid since this happened the first part of the month? Could be. It's a good point, Tomboy. Very good point. Thank you guys for the hearts for wisdom. We appreciate that very much. Always in our hearts. She'll always be here.
Has no parental rights. They're not married, so he has no parental rights over Lily and Jack. So if she wanted to leave, wouldn't she just leave? And you might say, well, he does have parental rights over Meadow. Yeah, okay.
No, but I believe it's possible that she got like a monthly check or something, possibly. And that's probably what Tomboy was talking about, at least I believe. And Daniel did work. From my understanding, he's the only one that worked, but he only worked like one day. Was it a week or something like that? It's very weird, but yeah.
But if she left and made up some story about domestic violence, then he's on shaky ground. She could say, well, he's not physically abusive, but he's mentally abusive. No one could prove or disprove it. I just think it's something that, while technically possible, I just don't understand why.
Well, it could be. We don't know if maybe she's on some kind of disability, or if maybe they're on assistance, like monthly assistance or something. She does have 3 children. If she's not working, she could just be getting, I don't know how, I don't even know if they have assistance in Canada, like welfare or whatever. Maybe it's that or something. I don't know. But it could be. That would be the only thing I could think of if she's not working. So, or like a disability or something, you know what I mean? So, but that's the only thing I can think of, Alicia, on that. Hey, Miss Paula, wonderful to see you. T2014's in the house. Great to have you back. She would get a set amount a month per kid about the 20th of the month. Ah, okay. Thank you, T. Great to know that. I opened up Discord yesterday. First page I looked at, a post of wisdom. Such a weird book. Oh, I know. I do that all the time. All the time, Callie. Yes, that's the biggest problem, Tandy. There's so many of these questions that aren't answered, and we can't understand it at that aspect. You know what I mean? Because the kids weren't right. The kids aren't diagnosed, so there shouldn't be. They couldn't. I would imagine they're receiving anything for their, if they were autistic or something. So it's got to be for her or for like a human services case or something, maybe. The assistance thing, yeah, it's the only thing I can think of, Elisa, truly. Yes, Mama Bear definitely has that issue too. Correct, Mama Bear, with the narcolepsy thing, right? If she's still here. She might have stepped away.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know if you knew Official has that too.
Really?
Yes. I hate dealing with narcolepsy, and Dago mentioned that Mama Bear has it too.
Wow. That's cool.
Cat Lady said, basically, because Cat Lady's in Canada, of course, it's social assistance or disability, which is the same as welfare. Okay. That's what I wondered. Thank you, Cat Lady. All right, on we go.
she would do that in those circumstances. Another theory related to that.
Well, I guess Rach has it too. Well, geez, guys, we need a channel in Discord for it then. You guys could talk about all of it in there.
Which I do find intriguing, is that the grandma planned it. So Malia's mother planned it to get Malia away and to control Malia. So she took the children, and then she comes on May the 3rd and whispers to Malia that the children are safe, and Malia goes with her. Again, I don't know. I can't discount it, though. This is the thing. This is why I'm discussing it. I can't discount anything. We just don't have enough information at the moment to discount anything. But look, I don't think the people from the reserve, if they knew Lily and Jack were there, I honestly don't think they would hide them, would they? I mean, what would the motive be for them? Just, just general people on the reserve to keep the secret. So Lily and Jack would have to be hidden away wherever they were. But in a case that's a month old and there's literally nothing, it's absolutely heartbreaking. I can't imagine how people in the local community feel. I can't imagine how the family feels, those of them that have absolutely nothing to do with the children's disappearance. And that might be all of them, for all we know. Daniel went to the vigil. Malia didn't. None of Malia's side of the family went there. People are questioning why she didn't go, being the biological parent. Other people, probably rightly, have said she's not going to go because of the negative, nasty comments on social media.
That's ridiculous. I'm sorry, but these are your children. I don't care what they're saying to you. Just as much as she should have never left, in my opinion, whether they told her to or not. She should have camped out in the road then. These are your children. You don't walk away from your children, no matter what the situation is, which is another reason why I struggle to believe that she don't know. Okay? It doesn't make sense to me. Unless you're that pathetic of a parent. I'm sorry. She should have been there. This guy is their stepfather and was there, along with the rest of the world that's supporting trying to find these kids, and you can't even show up for a vigil. I have a problem with that. I'm sorry.
Some people are saying that she's had death threats. I mean, look, don't do that, guys. Don't do that. Look, if she's responsible, it'll all come out in the wash. Yes, talk about the possibility, but don't go real life. That's just out of order. Don't go real life on anybody. If she's guilty, she'll get found out sooner or later. Then let the cops deal with that. But don't go real life. That's just out of order. It's wrong. Don't do it. But Daniel has had a whole ton of negative comments on social media. People being nasty about him. He's a stepdad. He's no blood relative. And statistically, step-parents are more likely to commit acts of violence against children than the biological parents. Well, that's not always true, is it? How many cases can we name where bio parents abuse and murder their children? There's been one, 3 little girls, planned visitation, have been found dead, and their dad is gone.
What are you talking about, official? Do I need to back up or something? Hang on. Did I miss something? Do you need me to pass back up to, or? Wonderful to see you, Ginger. No? I think she's being held against her will somehow. Her mother is what? It kind of comes off like it could be like I think she's being manipulated or threatened or something's being held over her head. That's how I feel. Like there was a conversation from the cousin when she did the interview that stated that when she called to check on Meadow, that the mother was in the background saying, "Get off that phone. Who are you talking to?" Things like that. And it's like, whoa, this is a 27-year-old grown woman. Mother or not, at some point you need to step back and leave this person alone and let them live their life, okay? Unless you think you're protecting her from something, and if that's the case, there's a different way to do it. This ain't it. So it's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Why? On a planned visitation. Why? And then you've got those who murder their kids and then lie about it, like LILLYSULLIVAN. There's so many. Well, there's many, many, many thousands of bio parents across the globe that abuse their kids. It doesn't ever get as serious as killing them, but they abuse their kids. Yes, some step parents do, but there's some fantastic step parents out there, and we can't forget that. Is Daniel innocent? I don't know. I just don't know. I do have red flags, but I'm not going to say he did anything without any evidence whatsoever. And in this case, there just isn't any evidence. The boot print is all the searchers have to go off. They don't know whether it's Lilly and Jack's. I mean, that's one big difference between this case and the Summer Wells case. I mean, I myself have said that this case is the Canadian version of Summer Wells. It's very similar in a lot of respects. Then 5-year-old Summer Wells just disappeared from outside of her home on the afternoon of June 15th, 2021. And yes, in a few days' time, it will be 4 years for Summer Wells. Her parents have been controversial. The case had a lot of attention. It's all died down since Don Wells stopped coming on the internet at night, being drunk and having a poop on camera. And oh, dear God, do you remember all that? Dear God. But there is some potential evidence in the Summer Wells case. I've talked about the footprints a lot, and you had to be really deep in the case in the early days to know about the footprints. And one neighbour who used to live here, he doesn't live there anymore, reported on social media. So again, this is social media report, but we do have something to back this up. On June 19th, which was the Saturday, so 4 days after Summer disappeared, a search dog alerted on a child-sized bare footprint, and we believe that Summer was barefooted when she went missing. And then there was another footprint found here on Mary Sexton's land. And there's been numerous scent alerts talked about as well. But we do know that something went down in this vicinity on the 19th.
No, not yet, Demon, sadly. And welcome, brother. Good to see you today.
Because there was an all-night search, 19th into the 20th. And although the TBI have never confirmed that it's because of the footprints, they just said that they were following up on a lead. You know, the locals.
She's talking about Summer Wells here at this point. Just so you guys don't get confused.
No, the reason for that all-night search was because footprints were found that they believe were Summer's. Dave Rader from EquiSearch, very well-respected organisation, discussed that all-night search and the theory that the searchers had that night. Talked about it numerous times in my Summer Wells videos. Go and check out my Summer Wells playlist. I've got hundreds, literally hundreds of videos about Summer Wells, some of them about the footprints. But in Lilly and Jack's case, that boot print, there's no scent associated with it. So it could be anybody's. Could be Lilly or Jack's and an old footprint if Daniel walked round the woods with them. You know, this gas pipeline, is that a trail there so you can walk down it? Just don't know. There's just nothing. So I'm going to continue covering the case like I'm doing now. So if you like it, great. Thank you for watching my videos. If you've not yet subscribed and you like my videos, please do. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and I think it's doable. About 12k to go. So if you like my videos, if you've been watching a few of them, then please do subscribe. It's free, completely free. Just click the subscribe button, that's all you need to do. And if you don't like the way I do videos, then no one's asking you to watch, are they? But subscribe anyway, why not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Thanks again, Michelle. Guys, yeah, there's her link if you guys haven't yet subscribed to her. I'd love to be able to help her to get to 100,000. That'd be awesome. She's been out here for a long time. She's done some great stuff. And I think she deserves it. So please jump on over, hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. Hit some likes over there for her videos because she's really helped us out through this case with the videos she's put out there. So I think she deserves that. There is her link in the chat right there, and I appreciate that, guys. So that's what's being said there from her. Also, I got a couple more things on this, and then we're going to move on to another conversation. Hang on a minute here. A minute, guys. I know, Cap. She got a beautiful piece of property. I mean, I have a pretty good sized piece too, but the fields and stuff she has are just amazing. Hang on here. I love her dogs too. Her dogs are pretty awesome. Okay, let's see. Next up, are you still here, Bear?
Yep.
What do you think about this so far?
I don't know. Like I said the other day, there's something fishy. I don't know what it is, and I can't put my finger on it.
Right.
Kind of what Jeremiah was saying in the chat the other day made a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
But I don't know. Something's just
Off.
Yeah.
Definitely. I haven't seen Bonnie in a couple days, Cap. I'm praying that she's okay. I know she's going through chemo and stuff like that, and it's pretty rough on the body, so she could just be resting, and I hope she's okay. As always, everybody, please keep Miss Bonnie in your thoughts and prayers, as always. She's a very important part of this community as well, as all of you are, but she's going through, obviously, chemotherapy right now. And when she can be here, she is. And I know that it's very hard. Like I said, she's been tired and sick and things from that. So just keep her in your thoughts and prayers, guys. That's all I'm asking. And thank you for asking about her, Cap. I appreciate that you guys are caring like that and do ask about other people. That's amazing to me. So hopefully she's good. Yeah, LL, 100%. I think the grandmother is absolutely 100%. Malaya's mother is a problem here. I think she's an issue. She could be a reason. Who knows, you know? Yes, Alicia, thank you. 100%, folks. 100%.
Because there was like 4 adults at least living on the property, and no one noticed that 2
That's
kids
what I said.
Disappeared.
How did you not see this? There was a grandmother, an uncle, and those 2. How did nobody see or hear anything? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not like they were super. I guarantee they weren't super quiet and tiptoed around and.
No, they're kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that, official, that Malaya's mom was in her ear. Daniel said that everything was set and ready to go. That she was going to stay there with him. The baby was going to go with his cousin Logan, that we heard from, and they were going to look for the kids and do what they had to do. And 5 minutes with her mom, and she's packing up. She's leaving him. They're broke up. Everything's been deleted. They're done. What?
So weird.
And right before that, she gave an interview that same day, probably an hour before that, stating that she's never been happier than since she's been with Daniel, and where she's at, she feels safest. Again, remember this. The wording means a lot to me, folks. She's never felt safer in her life since she's been here with Daniel. Something's wrong with that statement, as far as I'm concerned. There's a reason she said that the way she did. It doesn't just mean nothing to me, okay? And now all of a sudden you're safe and you feel happy and you're loving your life. They seem to have a great relationship, and you're breaking up with them. It's over within an hour. What?
Yeah.
Makes no sense to me. None whatsoever. And like I said, I feel really bad for Daniel, and I'm trying to support him as much as I can at this point, because he's the only one that's shown any genuineness about this and any kind of emotions. Like I said, me as a father would have been a ball of shit crying over this, okay? Bawling. I couldn't talk to people. And I don't like the way it's happened. Okay, he's been made to look like this bad guy. He's been made to look like he's done stuff wrong. The way that she broke up and left him, and this, and I just don't see it that way. Hey, Murky Piglet, good to see you. Good Trouble, welcome back. Grateful to have
Hey,
you all here
Murky.
today.
What's that condition? Something by proxy?
Munchausen's.
There you go. I was like,
Munchausen's by proxy. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Hello, everyone. Good to see you in the True Crime Cafe with Dig. I just want to share for the trolls. My real name is Bacon Strips. Sounds good, Bacon. Good to see you here. Always love having you here, Murky. Thank you for joining us. I'd love to have Daniel here. I truly would, Demon. I'd like to give him a place to put his voice out there, another place to explain it, to help to get the kids' names and stuff out there. He's always got, as far as right now, from what I know, from what I've seen, he's definitely welcome to stop in here. If he'd like to do have a conversation, I would absolutely welcome him, just so that's known. Bacon. Them kids was outside on a regular, and that's why the other adults took no notice. Good point, Stuart. Very good point. Very good point. I just can't understand what happened. Well, I'm not judging her as much trouble as I am her mom. Okay. I just don't understand why. I don't know what goes on in her mind. We don't know if she has issues herself, maybe. Okay. But if she doesn't, then you need to step back and tell your mom to mind her business and do what you need to do. Okay. And I've never seen anybody control an adult child like this ever. This is crazy. And it just doesn't make sense. So I almost wonder if the mother has something over her head, if she's threatening her somehow. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. So hopefully that'll come out and it'll make it a little bit more understood. Are you leaving us already? Everyone have a great day. I feel like this is a conversation for me to be a part of. I'm confused, cat lady. Or yeah.
not to be a part of, maybe.
Okay. Are you not comfortable with the case, cat lady? I'm confused. Okay. Well, I'm sorry if there's anything that upsets you, cat lady. I hope not.
And that's a good point, Stuart. That
no worries, Murky.
That could be part of it too. They were outside on a regular, so that's why nobody took any notice. That
yeah, definitely makes sense in that aspect. But then,
but kind of like what official said, if you don't hear anything, that's when you go check on them.
Yeah.
Because as long as they're making noise, they're okay.
Well, my biggest issue with this has always been, if those kids were awake, they should have been up with them. At least one of them. Okay. That's bugged me from the beginning. So I don't know. I don't know. On we go. All right, let's see what we got going on here. This came out 9 hours ago. No, and that's okay. If let me put it this way. Maybe that's what I said then. As of right now, from what we've seen from Daniel, he's come off as the most genuine and the most, how can I say it, involved. I'm not saying, and I told you guys in the beginning, I'm not saying that he's off the table as far as I'm concerned. I said that already. I'm just saying she hasn't put forth the effort that he has. So if you want to come in here and explain yourself, you're welcome to, is all I'm saying. Both of them, as far as I'm concerned, are still suspicious to me. They always have been. They always will. But just like with Sebastian's case, you know what I mean? As far as parents go. I just have information that is not the same as y'all are going by. Daniel doesn't deserve. Okay. And that's fine. I appreciate that, cat lady. I don't know that. We don't know. We only know what we're getting. I will hopefully see you guys later. Y'all have a good day. And that would be nice to know what that other information is so that we can know how to base what our thoughts are. You know what I mean? So I understand completely. And I'm not saying he deserves a pass. And like I said in the beginning, people can be, what's the word I was looking for? People have the ability to pull the wool over your eyes sometimes, which is why I've always said they're both on the table. As far as I'm concerned, it's suspicious either way. He has just been the one that has shown us the being more genuine, bonus. Like I said before, you guys, it could all be bullshit. He could be deceiving the whole world with what he's doing. So if you want to come in here and explain yourself, give us the opportunity to kind of judge it for ourselves based on what you say, then come on in. If not, so be it. She can come in here too. She won't do it because she hasn't done anything. But, I want to hear what they have to say. Plus, it'll help to advertise, if you really want to find these kids, what's going on. So, yeah, we're just going off of what we get. Nobody gets a pass until they're found. Amen to that one. So I don't want that to be misunderstood, you guys. We still have our feelings about what we feel on this as far as who nothing is given a pass. Let me put it that way. Until they're found. That's the best way to put it. So
has always been off with the behavior of the mother of missing siblings, Jack and Lily Sullivan. I also see some red flags in the stepfather's behavior too, although he is the only one speaking out to the media, front and center at the prayer vigil, and keeping the children's face and story out there. Many online sleuths are suggesting that Daniel knows more and is covering for Malaya. Soon after the children were reported missing, Malaya moved out of the home she shared with Daniel and moved in with her mother. She also blocked Daniel on social media, which led many to believe that she was trying to push the blame on him. Or at least trying to set the stage for when the truth comes out. Could it be that she is trying to set him up? She allegedly told police that she felt safest with him until she started talking to her mother. Malaya then changed her mind completely and left with her mother. Eyebrows were raised again when Malaya didn't bother to show up at the 1-month vigil. Well, Daniel has now spoken out, and what he had to say is very interesting. Apparently the grief has been overwhelming and online speculation hasn't helped. He asked that people put their focus around Malaya and towards the kids. He wants everyone to stop attacking Malaya because her mental health will be reflected on their daughter, Meadow. He doesn't want anyone attacking Malaya anymore. Pictou County Warden, Robert Parker, says he understands a vigil may seem premature to some, but he feels it shows how deeply the community cares about Lily and Jack. Daniel went on to say that even after a month, it doesn't get any easier.
Your focus outward around Malaya and toward the kids. Don't attack Malaya because her mental health is, it's going to be reflected on her daughter. So I don't want anyone attacking Malaya anymore.
The county's warden says he understands a vigil may seem premature to some, but it's a sign of how deeply the community cares.
Okay, let's see here. Hang on.
Oh, definitely, Rach. I agree with that.
1 second, guys.
On my way, Cass.
All right, this was dropped. This is one of the guys from the behavior panel. Greg Hartley. I don't know if you guys remember him. He's actually the one that I like from the panel out of all of them. I'm going to run this real quick here just to give a quick, not all of it, some little bit of a insight into what he believes or thinks on this. And Sadie on here, she's an analyst as well. So they both do the same thing. I believe she's a psychologist. I think so. Don't quote me, but I think so. Let's check this out here real quick. A bit of it.
Red flags.
Yeah.
This guy has a ton of red flags.
Yeah.
My taste, and yours too.
Today I'm joined by someone I truly admire and I'm happy to call a friend. You probably know him from the behavior panel, but he's also written several books on body language and behavior, including this one I've got right here, How to Spot a Liar. Greg Hartley is here with me today to break down the behavior of Jackie and Lily's mom and stepdad, and there's a lot happening beneath the surface. So let's dive right in.
Congrats on your channel.
Thank you.
Glad things are going well for you.
Oh, thank you so much. I wanted to say thank you so much for all of the lessons that you have taught me the last 5 years. It's been incredible. I would not be where I am today had it not been for you guys. There would be no Prime Minister of Behavior without the behavior panel. So
you do a great job. You do a great job on all the stuff you do too, Sadie. Look, everybody who's watching you, if you hadn't subscribed, subscribe to this channel. Sadie's one of our best friends in the whole world. She's family. She's more than friends. She's part of the team you see behind her there.
Yeah.
So Sadie's learned a lot of stuff. And remember, my whole mindset about body language and behavior is I use this whole system I call READ, read. And it's about review, put things in boxes, figure out this is this and this is that, but no meaning. Evaluate, understand how everything goes together, analyze the big picture, and then take your knowledge, that D piece, take your knowledge and decipher what it means. And because of that, I think that every time somebody learns this skill set, they bring a new facet to it because they're looking at it from their life experiences, not from mine. And I always say, I'm lucky enough that I've had more than one career to learn from. And I was a good interrogator, did a lot of interrogation, but then I got the chance to live with civilians who haven't committed a crime and have to work through them. And that gave me a whole new insight into this, how these skills work. So your life skills are going to do the same for you. And no two of us will have exactly the same skill set, which is what I think is beautiful about this thing.
Absolutely.
So today I got up at 3 a.m. to leave the place I was in. I was in the airport and I was going to send this to you at 4 a.m. And I was like, yeah, that's a little bit early.
I was up.
Oh yeah, I figure you might. But I was just digging through videos and I really wanted to cover this case you guys are dealing with because I think we can add some value as a team, but I don't think we're going to. I think it needs some immediate action. And you and I both agreed, let's just look at it. Mm-hmm. And I found 20 seconds of a clip that I just went, oh, I need to call Sadie. And that's how we got started on this conversation. And you said, well, you wait till you see the mother. So I'd seen the father.
Yeah.
Realized I have not seen anything of the mother. Sadie's pulled some clips and we're going to talk about those. I'm not going to preach. We're going to talk. How's that?
Perfect.
Me and my family still go out sometimes and search, but everything's been searched that we can really dive into at this time. They have over 12,000 man hours searched in the woods, and they're planning on doing more, which I'm really grateful for.
First off, what was your immediate response when you saw that 10 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever it was?
So I noticed before in another video that he did, he talks very, he speaks in finality. He doesn't say, oh, it's ongoing, he talks as if the search is already done, like it's like, oh yeah, we did that. We searched everything. It's, it's done.
Yeah, and some people do that.
Right.
Usually you don't think they'll do that when there's hope for their child. Some people talk about everything in past tense. One of the things I always push back on statement analysis about is some people just are educated differently. I'm not sure he's the smartest guy in the world. So I can't tell by this video, but I did see a couple of things. But yeah, it seems pretty closed-ended. Not, hey, can you help us?
Right.
Not, hey. I mean, for me, if my kid was missing, I'd be like, hey guys, we've done everything we know how. How about you help us? Write in, send ideas, do anything. Look, you got a cell phone, take pictures of any little kid footprints you got.
Yeah.
None of that's there. Nothing. It just feels like, well, they've been gone a few days. And, all right, maybe we just throw in the towel now.
Yeah.
It just feels awkward. Yeah, that part feels awkward. I agree with you.
It really feels like I mean, at the same time, it also has been over a month now at this point. I guess the interview was a few days ago that this happened.
Okay.
So
I believe Ginger,
it's been almost a month at this point. So I feel like at that point you would likely be.
Yeah, you'd feel pretty destitute. And I say this all the time. Usually you're lost everything. I mean,
Right.
I don't share this all the time, but we lost our son.
Mhm.
And in 3 weeks, I had and God, I can't know how Dina even got through it, but in 3 weeks, your personality is gone. You're so emotionally wrung out. You just can't, I mean, it's unimaginable. And a lost child is probably as bad or worse.
Mhm.
There's the lost child, at least there's still that glimmer of hope at the end.
Right.
But I don't know. The thing for me that made the reason I called you, the reason I texted this though, is we want you to go back and watch as we talk about this. And Sadie's going to figure out how to make that really pretty because she does that for us all the time. But this guy, his speech patterns change as he's talking about where they have searched. He's got a pretty good little clip going there.
Families still go out sometimes and search, but everything's been searched.
And then he goes to
everything's been searched.
And I always say what's going on is the monkey brain is taking over. That cat brain, this is when the guys always joke around when I said I'm bringing a monkey to the dance. I work really hard to get people to this position where they can't think.
Right.
And he is trying to figure the right words. And he says, dive in.
Dive into at this time.
Not only does he say that, his shoulders come up and he bounces a little bit when he says it. And it's out of place. Everything, go back and watch cadence, watch pronunciation, watch volume about dive. Watch all those pieces and tell me what you see, or what do you see, Sadie? Because this is out of his base and a weird choice of words. If I were talking to law enforcement, I would start searching the water around this place. That's a weird choice of words. Maybe he says it all the time.
Everything's been searched that we can really dive into at this time.
My little suspicious brain is going, something's up here.
Mm-hmm.
Embedded confessions look just like that.
Wow. When you sent me that message and you gave me that timestamp, I went right to it and I saw that and I hadn't even put that together before you had said that. And it was so shocking to see that.
Yeah, it's just such a weird word pattern change. And look, when we talk about body language, what we're really talking about is change, because all of us communicate. And I always say this, 3 pieces, 2 pieces. The 3 pieces you communicate with are gestures, illustrators, and regulators. And the 2 pieces that protect you are adapters and barriers. We expect a person to be fluid and speak and move their hands. He's not doing that we can see. His shoulders go up when he says dive is the only time we see any real movement. He's communicating something, whether it's intentional or not is another question. Is he communicating we don't know where else to look, we're hopeless? But dive is a weird choice of places there. So I think I'd dig in a little bit if I were the police.
Wow. Yeah, that's great.
Weird.
Wow.
That's wonderful, Trish. I did forget about that. Thank you so much for putting forth that option to us. We appreciate you very much. And that's what our biggest issue is. Like Alicia said, is that the weird stuff to us is the fact that she had applied and tried 2 or 3 times and was denied. As soon as these kids go missing, poof, they're approved. And the baby can't be approved, but the other 2 are now that they have gone missing. And it's just very strange to us all. And I just wonder, and it's weird that her mother's involved in this too. And I have to wonder if that has anything to do with that. Just these are the questions we have, Trish. And I really appreciate you for us to be able to ask you about that. Thank you so much.
So now we can watch
the mom.
Yeah, let's watch.
I haven't seen her yet at all. So this will be interesting. And sorry, guys, we haven't gotten to this on the channel, but I think it's more important to say that you do it because you're local, you reach more people close. And yeah, and thank you for bringing me on.
Oh my gosh, thank you for being here. I told you this is like a dream come true. This is like,
Don't be silly. This is your family.
oh my gosh, thank you.
I'm just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet. And we get up, and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, "Do you hear the kids?" And he says, "No." And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids.
You know my first observations? Just very first things. And remember, this is the first time I've seen her. Up talk, up talk when she's talking about the kids. Down talk, down talk, down talk when she's talking about what other people have said to her. That's a baseline deviation, because if other people have said something and you're saying, they told me, why would you say the kids are good? They would go outside. The other question that comes to mind for me immediately, and this is without body language, if you know they go outside because you tell them not to, why don't you fix that problem? I would want to go see the door and say, how'd they get out?
Very much so, official.
You know, I block my own sliding door with some kind of apparatus so somebody can't open it. Much less if children are in there so people can come in. Forget the children going out. Why wouldn't you have a lock of some kind so nobody can come in? So there's a ton of questions from a logic point of view. But that up talk, she appears to have grief in her brow, but she's also in the sun, which is tough. I mean, when a person's in the sun, they may do that. I do it a lot because I'm very pale skinned and blue eyed. So in the sun, I'm doing that all the time. So it's really tough to know, is the person squinting or showing grief? I don't see, there were a couple other things in there too. We played a fairly long clip. What about you, Sadie? Because you've watched it.
Well, I noticed that she doesn't start with, the way that she starts the story is at the very beginning of the day, as opposed to when you come out of the room and you see that your children are gone. I feel like that would be the most important thing to highlight.
Yeah. I think that's a good call. Sometimes if it's been a while, then it may take a while, and you may go back and answer questions because people have poked and prodded you. Like guys I've interrogated, they almost start always back at the beginning of the story if you give them a chance.
Okay. This interview, for context, was the day after. So they left on the Friday, and this is on the Saturday.
Feels like a setup. Then. Yep.
Yes.
If they're saying, oh, early in the morning, we heard them, and then of course, remember Cleo Smith, the little girl? They said the same thing. Remember, they said we could hear her in the room next to us, and then we couldn't hear her. So sometimes people do feel guilty and will tell you more details. She's at least less right out of the gate, as far as we've watched.
Good point, Chick.
She's at least less concerning for me than the guy, because that big word pattern disruption makes me want to, and look, it can be nothing.
Yeah.
But he would get undivided attention if I were in the room with him over that.
Another good point, Rach.
What else did you see? Because I again, first time looking at it.
Yeah, and it was a long clip. I should have broken it to parts.
We can go back and watch pieces if you want. I got time for whatever you want to do. I thought I saw Disgust in there one time too. I thought I saw, but it can be Sunlight as well. So there's reason I didn't mention it when I saw it.
All right, good trouble. I didn't know. Happy anniversary. Enjoy it. Enjoy yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you later. Be safe out there.
A little nose crinkle.
It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they are feeling warm. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found.
Look at her forehead now. When she says pain and sorrow, the horseshoe's gone. It was there earlier. Yeah, and in this case, I'm less suspicious of her saying wet because she's saying it's been raining. I get that. The other guy, though, that dive thing is just so out of place. I mean, where do they live? They live right on the ocean?
They live right in the middle of the woods, but there are lakes around. And I mean, it's
Okay.
Nova Scotia, so there's ocean like
Yeah, an hour away.
an hour. Yeah.
She's trying to say sorrow, Mama Bear, and I think it's the Canadian accent it makes it come off that way. I didn't understand it at first, and I had to go back and listen and go, oh, okay. So yeah.
I was like, what?
If that. Like,
Oh, I'm just wondering because
Yeah, when she first said it, I would wait, what did she say? Pain and soul. Oh, sorrow. Gotcha. So yeah, it's the Canadian accent, sadly. I've always loved the Canadian accent. Minnesota too. It's kind of neat to me. But that's what it took me a minute to catch. Sorrow, not sorrel. Right. It's part of the thing.
some people use dive all the time because maybe that's his hobby or that kind of thing.
yeah.
And so I'm trying to give him the benefit of a doubt, but
Right.
that choice of words, if you were doing a normal choice of words and you use it all the time, you'd have said, there's no place to dive in. That's not what he does.
Yeah.
Tell me what you've got, Sadie, because you probably got a ton of stuff. You've been watching this and
Oh yeah, I've been overwatching this. I feel like I've been getting too far into it. It's so interesting because to be honest, I had a lot of red flags with her, and I'm still on the fence with the stepfather. So there's one point where she stumbles over the word search effort, which I just stumbled over. So I guess that's not really saying much, but I just
heard that.
was wondering what you thought of that.
Yeah, I heard it and I didn't assign anything to it because it's a weird, people don't use it every day. It's not like 7-Eleven or something like that, convenience store.
Yeah.
Most of us don't ever have a reason to have search effort. We don't. I mean,
Right.
I'm a military guy, so different kind of mindset.
I don't know. Is it Daniel trying to say? I had a question about this too. I didn't bring it up yet, but I was gonna end because of the way he says what he says, Demon. When he says leave Lily alone, don't do this, don't do that because it's going to affect their baby. Is it that, or is he trying? Is it because he knows she's not guilty of something? And I'm looking at this from all sides, guys. Understand that. Is that why he's saying it? Because he knows maybe he's the one that's guilty and he's deceived everyone. And that's why he's saying, don't put this on her. Don't put this on her. She didn't do anything because of that. Or it's truly because he doesn't want her, because he still cares about her and he doesn't want her to feel bad. It could be a couple different reasons, I'm just saying. Right. Is he gaslighting her? That's what I'm saying, Rach. It could be, and we have to look at this from different angles, whether we believe in him or not, or want to, because he showed us what we believe is genuineness. We have to make sure that we understand that there's deceivers out there and they're very good at it sometimes. We've seen it more than once, guys. Way more than once. Yeah, gaslighting and discrediting her, 100%. It could be. She could be absolutely innocent of everything, and this is all on him, guys. And that makes good reason why all this is happening like this. And so then we're gonna have to backtrack and go, okay, we were wrong. That's not what happened, and he did a great job of deceiving everybody. That could be what happens. But like I said, I've had them both on the table from the beginning. I just try to follow what we see. Take it for what it is. Could be very fake, though, folks. People are very good at this. Sarge in the house. What's happening, Sarge? Sorry I missed your show last night, Sarge. I didn't even realize you were doing it, but I did catch the replay. You did a great job, as always, and thank you for being here today.
So, but you would think that she would have a little. The lilting up is my problem. Search effort didn't. And let's go back and listen. I bet when she says search effort, she doesn't lilt up. She only does it when she's talking about the kids.
Yeah.
She's asking for approval when she's talking about the kids and not when she's talking about other things. Good call out, though, because those kinds of things sometimes are.
That's great point, Scott. Well, here, the reason why they left is because there was an argument that happened, and her family was blaming him, and his family said, get out, basically, because it's their property. And so that's the whole reason behind that. But why isn't she coming out saying anything about him? That's the other side of that. We don't know, but it's a very interesting thought, Scott, and I appreciate you throwing that out there. Guys, check out Sarge's channel if you will. Welcome back, Christy. Thank you for being here again, dear. Hope everything went well. Guys, if you're not doing nothing, run over and subscribe to Sarge's channel, the Your Ass Hurts News Network. You'll love it. He's always raw and on point and right in your face with things. He doesn't bounce around the bush or anything. So it's always a good time over there. So go check them out if you will, please and thank you. LL says, again, I feel like when she says his name in the first clip, she has an interesting look on her face, and I hope they talk about that. Could be. The thing that caught my attention right away was that she said my partner, not my fiance, not my, because I think I heard that after a year, you're common law married if you live together, and I don't know if that's true or not, but she didn't say husband, boyfriend. She said partner. That was strange to me. Why it is, I don't know. I don't know. And that I would like to see them break that down.
The biggest red flag.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's so there's so much going on here that there's just so many questions regarding this case in general where you just have no idea what's happening. So everything
and,
is,
you know, here's the thing. When you lose a kid, things are, I mean, God forbid anybody deals with a kid getting kidnapped or lost or even, you know, any of that. But your brain, there's no place in your brain for that. And when it first happens, you're scrambling for trying to understand. You don't have any, you know, you don't, this is a frame of reference problem. And if it's day one, you can be scrambling for what the hell, how this happened, what did I do wrong, even if it is above board. Now add to that, when it isn't above board, a different story. So I think we have to give them a benefit of a doubt a lot of times. And you'll hear me say that, like sometimes people have no frame of reference. Sometimes there might be drugs involved, meaning they were sleeping because, and there's guilt associated. I don't know anything about these people, but if they drank a lot the night before and they slept through and their kids disappeared, that could be guilt. So I try to look for all those reasons when I'm thinking about it. And so, yeah, I appreciate you doing it this way. Sadie, it's worth looking. But that lilt up is my first red flag.
Yeah.
I appreciate the huge search effort going on right now. But we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued.
They were really adamant that they were abducted and they weren't really looking into any other option.
That's different. Yeah. When a person comes up with, especially if you live in the woods, you live in the woods, you know, if I live in the woods and my kids have access to a door, truly have access to a door and can go out and play. Like I said, number one, I'm going to bolt that door shut because these are little babies, you know.
Absolutely.
But number two, my first horror would be they're lost in the woods.
Yes.
I'm going to try to find them. I would look for footprints and look for all that. I mean, my brain goes to logical first. You didn't hear the door open. You didn't hear your kids scream like, oh my God, who's here?
Yes.
So why would you immediately go to abducted? Unless they're saying they wandered in the woods and got abducted.
Right.
And that would mean somebody's waiting for them because they're in the woods. So there's a lot of logic things when somebody immediately goes to they're abducted.
Yeah.
Because that disperses the search.
Exactly.
Quickly and takes people off of other things.
And the interesting thing too is that they keep throughout the multiple interviews, she only did one. She only did this one. And the stepfather did multiple. And it's always been said that they are very friendly. They'll talk to anybody. They'll talk your ear off. So it makes it seem like they're kind of setting it up so that they're, they were abducted, kind of like pushing the attention elsewhere.
Well, that's when a person immediately goes to abduction. Of course, that's a fear of all parents that their child's abducted if they're out. But that's more likely to happen if you're in a populated area.
For sure.
You live on acreage, especially if you have dogs and all that kind of thing. I don't know anything about their situation. When people go that way, when they insist they're abducted, then you're like, okay, how could that possibly be? We're in the woods. The McCanns immediately said she's abducted. Well, of course they did, because they're in a very tightly populated area and she's disappeared.
Right.
And they walked all around the place and looked. And, people will say that that's criminal, that, they did something. By the way, there's a brand new search going on right now in Portugal for the two places that guy who's the prime suspect occupied, looking for remains.
Wow.
So for the McCanns, just to give you an example, this is 19 years later.
Holy.
So children can disappear into thin air, and it can be an abduction. So I understand why people would feel that way, but like you, that would be your first call if your kids were not where they were supposed to be, where you live. You'd be like, oh my God, they're in the woods.
Yeah. There's bears. There's
bears. Bears.
Yeah. 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 I would not jump to That's yeah, it's very interesting that was, and it seems like that was a big point for them, just continuously trying to push Amber Alert, somebody abducted them.
So let's talk about something you can, let's remember we talked about D and read. The most important things is D. Let's talk about how you would react. Not just you, but your neighbors. You live in the same province. You live in a very wooded area, not far from there.
Yeah.
And your immediate reaction would be, hey, where are my kids?
Yeah.
What else? What's abnormal from a cultural point of view that you're noticing that I wouldn't pick up on?
Right. I guess that I feel like there's just so much. Like I think that's why I'm so drawn to this case, because there's so much to it that I'm finding so many things abnormal. It's not just like one thing, it's everything. Like, even like you said, the door, they say that the sliding door is quiet, and they snuck out of it. And
put a bell on the damn thing. I mean, come on.
But even looking, there's like a picture that was taken of it, and it does not look silent. It does not look like a quiet door that a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old could.
Here's my thing too with that door, guys. I've thought about this too. I don't know about you, Mama Bear, but I lived in a house that has a slider on it. Okay. I know people that have sliders. They're big, heavy doors. Neither one of these kids, in my opinion, looked strong enough, unless it's very well oiled and taken care of, to open that door. Those are heavy. Okay. And
yeah, I have a slider.
Go ahead. Yeah. Okay.
And it's heavy, and I have to use all my weight to pull.
That's what I'm saying. And these are tiny little ones. They're tiny, 4 and 6, but they're little. Okay. And they make the one I had before, the track makes all sorts of noise. And like I said, unless you keep that oiled and you take super good care of it, and I'm not saying they didn't, but yeah, it's a pain in the butt. So and plus the door handles are typically in the middle. So you got to get a good grip on that door handle. If there's one on there, some of those door handles have the ones that are built into the door where you just slide your fingers in and you pull it that way. Some have it's extended door handles. There's our Bonnie. Thank the Lord. We were just talking about you, Bonnie. Good to see you, dear. Thank you for being here. And yes, wonderful. There you are, Cap. You can show her your love right here. I don't have to pass it along. She's right here. Wonderful to see you, Bonnie. We've been thinking about you, dear. So yeah, I've wondered about that with that door. They're heavy. Oh Jesus, sorry about the echo again. They're heavy. They're really heavy. And could they reach that? The taller one, Lily, could she reach that? What kind of a door handle did it have? I didn't even get to look at the picture. Truly, I didn't think about it. And you got to hear it. You got to hear it when it opens, in my opinion. I'm just saying. I've always had issue with that.
It's almost like they all make some kind of sliding noise. I mean, because it has like on the, I guess the rails or whatever on the inside, the door has like those, like a brush or finger things, and it makes that shh noise too.
Well, and then mine used to make like a grinding, clinking noise when you would open it. The locks, who said that? Welcome, all things. Good to see ya. And Murky's right. The locks on those are a pain in the behind. Like you have to push it, lock it, pull it, move it. I used to have to mess with mine all the time to get the locker unlocked. Yep. So that could be why it was left unlocked, because it's such a pain in the butt. Yeah, it can be super loud. Like I said, you have to keep them oiled. The track has to be taken care of and kept cleaned out. You can't anything. It will make noise, and it's a pain in the butt. Yeah, like a suction, right, Brian?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's exactly the way to make explain it, because it seals when you shut it. So it's just, I don't know. Some of them, it could be an easy one to open. It's just anyone I've ever experienced is heavy and a pain in the butt. So I don't know. That's always been one of my issues with this story, with this thing. And the fact that you didn't hear it, but then there was talk that it was heard, but nobody reacted to that. Why didn't you get up and move when you heard it open? I don't get this. Okay. This is the weird part with this. Oh, shit. Bad news. Disease spread, but I am applying for a new drug treatment. So there. Jesus, Bonnie, I'm so sorry, Don.
Oh, honey. Big hugs. Love you.
Absolute love, and always, always, always prayers, Bonnie. You know that we love you, and you're in our hearts every day, constantly thinking about you. Fingers crossed, everything. I will be praying. We all will be, and hopefully, it will be good. It will be okay. I have faith. You know, I have faith. I have had faith from the beginning with this, and I'm not going to lose that. So everything's going to work its way out. I have a great feeling on that. Just know we love you. We're always thinking about you, and we're always praying for you. And I'm grateful to see you here, Bonnie. I am.
And that's a good point. All things silver. Because our bedrooms are upstairs. Um, but with them being on one level, I would think they would still be able to hear it, but I don't know. Everybody's different, so. Right, Murky, yeah, we had one of those in our door too. Yeah, because we have to pull on ours so hard. Our actual door handle's kind of wiggly.
Can you guys not hear the audio?
No, I thought you stepped away for a minute or something.
Is the audio not working?
I didn't hear anything.
Hold on. I did run to the bathroom real quick, but
Oh.
I thought it was okay. I'm sorry. All right, let's try that again.
Right.
And that would mean somebody's waiting for
that
them
better?
because
Yeah.
they're in the woods. So there's a lot of logic things when somebody immediately goes to they're abducted,
Yeah,
because that disperses the search
exactly.
quickly
Well,
and takes people off of other things.
And the interesting thing too is that they keep throughout the multiple interviews, she only did one. She only did this one. And the
Okay.
stepfather did multiple, and it's always been said that they are very friendly. They'll talk to anybody. They'll talk your ear off. So it makes it
Okay.
seem like they're kind of setting it up so that they're, oh, you know, they were abducted, kind of like pushing
Yeah.
the attention elsewhere.
Well, that's when a person immediately goes to abduction. Of course, that's a fear of all parents that their
Right.
child's abducted if they're out. But that's more likely to happen if you're in a populated area.
For sure.
You live on acreage, especially if you have dogs and all that kind of thing. I don't know anything about their situation.
Mhm.
When people go that way, when they know they insist they're abducted, then you're like, okay, how could that possibly be? We're in the
Yeah.
woods. The McCanns immediately said she's abducted.
Mhm.
Well, of course they did, because they're in a very tightly populated area and she's disappeared.
Right.
And they walked all around the place and looked. And people will say that that's criminal, that they did something. And by the way, there's a brand new search going on right now in Portugal for the two places that guy who's the prime suspect occupied, looking for remains.
Wow.
So for the McCanns, just to give you an example, this is 19 years later.
Holy.
So children can disappear into thin air, and it can be an abduction. So I understand why people would feel that way. But
Mhm.
like you, that would be your first call if your kids were not where they were supposed to be, where you
Yeah.
live. You'd be like, oh my God, they're in the woods.
Yeah. There's
What's
bears.
dangerous?
Like
Yeah,
there's
bears. Bears.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I would not jump to that. Yeah, it's very interesting that was, and it seems like that was a big point for them, just continuously trying to push Amber Alert, somebody abducted them.
So let's talk about something let's remember we talked about D and read. The most important thing is the D. Let's talk about how you would react. Not just you, but your neighbors. You live in the same province. You live in a very wooded area, not far from there.
Yeah.
And your immediate reaction would be, hey, where are my kids?
Yeah.
What else? What's abnormal from a cultural point of view that you're noticing that I wouldn't pick up on?
Right. Huh, I guess that I feel like there's just so much. Like I think that's why I'm so drawn to this case, because there's so much to it that I'm finding so many things abnormal. It's not just like one thing, it's everything. Like, even like you said, the door, they say that the sliding door is quiet, and they snuck out of it.
Put a
And
bell on the damn thing. I mean,
but
come on.
even looking, there's like a picture that was taken of it, and it does not look silent.
Thanks,
It does
Trish.
not look like a quiet door that a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old could open easily.
Right.
And I mean, same thing.
Her name is Sadie. She's a psychologist, and she does the same type of things. She analyzes people's body language and stuff like that, and can kind of give you like a behavioral analyzation. So
have one of those doors in our bedrooms, and there's a 2x4 like blocking it, so it can't open. So I don't know. There's just,
Well, it doesn't pass the sniff test for logic. Number one, we all are going, something's wrong.
yeah.
Then when I hear that up talk, if we go back and listen to that up talk, we can
Yeah.
figure out which part she up talked and which part she didn't, and say, is there a problem there?
Yeah.
Because I would say,
yeah, Brian, it's basically the same as it is here. They have to be abducted, and there's certain protocol that has to match for it to work. So yes, absolutely.
body language is what brought me to the YouTube channel, but I'm really a motivation guy. I'm about what's going on in somebody's head when they're doing this. And so I
Agreed, Brian.
big ears, little eyes. I listen first and then look. So I hear those things. They scream at me when a person's doing all that up talk.
Wow. That's very interesting. I noticed that on I Want Them Home. She
Yeah.
does an
Whoop,
up talk.
whoop, whoop.
And it just really it seems so uncertain that she wants them home, which is weird. And then she does a shoulder shrug when she says
Single.
I want them home again for the second time. She does a double shoulder shrug.
Yeah, and that can, if your hands are up, that can be helplessness. Look, I want them home. That can
Yeah.
be helplessness. But if
So
it's
let's
that,
see. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's see.
that'd be
Let's
interesting
see,
to see
because
that.
that's right at the start, and then we can watch the up talk, the tone
Okay,
as
yeah,
well
that
at the
sounds
same
cool.
time.
As hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens.
So here, you hear that and.
Yes.
Those are opportunities. It doesn't mean that the person's being deceptive.
Okay.
Anytime a person says and, that is a shortened version of and then after that.
Right.
And that's called time hiding.
Yes.
There's any time a person uses a contracted time, there's a problem. Because remember, I talk about occasionally micro interview. And a micro interview says, you said and, hold on, let's open that up. And then you listen. This is a beautiful way to catch a lot of liars. They're running along, they're going boom, 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 and then after that, everything else goes away. You pick the and then, and then you open that up and you say, okay, let's narrow this down a little bit. And you just keep doing that until you find the anomaly. And often body language comes with it, because that and then is the smoothest way to pass over omitted time. And omitted time, I always use the example. I went to write my ex-wife her alimony check and then went home, but you backed over. You just didn't mention it. That's the way people lie. It's the easiest way. If I can glide over something, again, not saying that's the case, but it's a good indicator. She's saying and that you need to clean it up and ask some questions. Might be your normal speech pattern.
I did actually notice that the and hiding time.
People do it to you every day, so you don't notice it's a problem. And then and after that, and what's interesting is like the forward and backward pass that you use. I didn't learn that in interrogation. I learned that actually running construction projects, because you forward and backward pass construction to make sure you're not missing anything. And, I was teaching interrogation still at the time at lettered agencies up in DC. And I said, look, forward backward pass is a powerful tool we use in project management. They can take a story apart, because timelines nobody practices backward.
Right. Yeah, it's like doing the alphabet backwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. I always think it's unfair when they're trying to pull somebody over and they're trying to catch them for drunk driving. They say that the alphabet backwards. I'm like, I'm drunk, man. I'm drunk right now.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how to do that, and I'm sober.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Most of the things that I have, except, yeah, I guess we kind of went over they're so sweet. They talk to anyone.
Go play that little piece too, because that's where the lilting starts. Right after that, I think, is where the lilting gets worse, right?
Yeah.
They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids.
Not a whole lot. There's just opportunities for her to hide information that I would not leave alone.
Right.
And there's some logic gaps. Your culture, the culture. Look, most of the people who are going to watch you could have 1 million people watch this, and 20 would probably know the culture, because you live in a very secluded area, very isolated area. And so you'll have more understanding. So talk about that in your analysis. Say, look, I live in this world.
Yeah.
This is not how things go.
No.
Where I live in the part of Georgia I live in, we recognize outsiders very quickly. We all do, because the world is very different here. So take advantage. Remember, I always said everybody's born able to do the same things unless they have a disability. And then we start assigning meaning to body language. And then culture's primary power in body language is to pair your ability to do things.
Right.
So, your little kid will come in the room using a middle finger and you'll go, stop.
Yeah.
Because it means something.
Yeah.
At least it wouldn't mean the same thing.
Right.
Your little kid runs in and does that. Doesn't mean the same thing in UK.
Yeah.
So all those places, we start assigning meaning to it. And there's a lot of cultural anomaly, number one, in a given region, but also in the kind of people who move to wilderness.
Right.
You and I share a love for no neighbors up close. And my neighbors, I can't see one.
Yeah.
I've got one that's about 300 yards from me. Good guy, good friend, a cop. We get along great. And then the neighbors drop off from there.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Scott.
Well, one of the points that the stepfather made was that they wouldn't cross the street. So it's very it's very strange because I have a 6-year-old, and it's very much like if she wanted to cross the street, she would probably cross the street if she felt like crossing, which she's not allowed to, but it doesn't mean they won't.
Sadie, this is a really weird one because the likelihood that this kid's just walked off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really, it does not seem likely. And it's and the fact that they're pushing the abduction is even more concerning.
That's a big red flag. It is a big red flag. And look, some people would do that because they want the government involved in everything. But usually people who move out to the woods don't want a lot of government involved.
No.
I mean, the last place you want to call is the government and say, hey, do this.
Yep. Also, for more context, I didn't want to say this beforehand, but the mother left the property after that interview that she had with the media. So apparently the stepfather and the mother got in a big fight of some kind, and now she's gone. She's left the property.
Interesting.
Yes.
That could say something about a whole lot of things. We'll just keep that alone for a minute.
Yeah. All right. So here's the stepfather.
I know they took their boots. That's pink boots for Lily, blue boots for Jack, with dinosaurs on them. Lily had her backpack with white, and it was white with strawberries on it. I imagine now if they're in the woods, that'd be probably brown, but I don't see them carrying their backpack. I don't see them keeping a pull-up on for that long after it got soaked from the very first day. We only found the 2 boot tracks outside of the house.
Whereabouts?
Right beside the house, probably 10 feet away from the backyard.
In the backyard, okay.
Nothing new, other than the helicopters are still in the air, and they had dogs. They took around the dogs today. And
I see one thing right off the bat. Why do you ask, Sadie? Why do you ask? They had their boots. You see that eye lock? Boom.
Yeah.
Something's up with eye lock like that. Now, maybe he's just socially awkward because, they said their kids are on the spectrum. It's possible he's got something going on there. But that hard eye lock is not typical of people on the spectrum either. Most of the time, they're all over the place.
Right.
But that hard eye contact, we always suspect a person when they do it. Scott and I, oddly enough, I have this thing up behind me still from last week from the show we just did for Thursday. And in that was where we talk about romancer. Remember that hard eye contact? I want to make sure that you are paying attention to me, and I want to make sure of how things go.
Yeah.
Usually people are moving their eyes, especially in accessing. If we go back and look, and he's going.
Yeah, Brian, that happened the day that they did the press conference. About halfway through, she walked off, jumped in the back of an ambulance because she was having anxiety issues, and off the next day she was gone and broke up with him. So yeah, still very strange situation.
It was blue boots and pink boots, and then a white backpack with red somethings on it.
Huh.
That's hard to do. I mean, let me ask you this. What's your little girl wearing right now? Watch your eyes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's so true.
You know, they took their boots. That's pink boots for Lily, blue boots for Jack, with dinosaurs on them.
See,
Wow. Her backpack.
I would be suspicious of this guy on a grand scale because that eye movement, he does downright. They took their boots. Remember, eye movement for me is a powerful thing. I'm the guy on the team who's always saying, boom, pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And, if you want me to give you a 5-minute session on what that looks like and how it works, happy to.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use you. I'm going to use you.
Okay. Oh, no.
So, tell me what you had for breakfast. Boom. See it? And tell me the last thing your daughter said to you before you started this podcast.
Oh my goodness.
Boom. There you go. You see what I mean? All we're after is getting a baseline. Your baseline is probably to the left, and I think you were trying to remember what you had for breakfast. You're probably trying to string stuff together because I think your baseline is left. So if I ask you a question, if you were to walk out, and if I'm right, we'll play it by ear because I have never baselined you. I don't do it to people I care about. But if I ask you this question, I'm right. Your eyes are going to go up left. You let them do what they do. If you walk out your back door, which direction do you have to look to see the woodpile? There you go. That's what I'm after. You see now, and then here's the second question: if you walk to the woodpile and look to your right, what do you see? Now you're not sure.
No, I'm not sure.
Right?
No.
Yeah. So good. That's good. I think you're still a left baseliner. Anyway, so if I ask you, well, you got a favorite song?
Yeah. I can't think of it right now.
Okay. Well, favorite poetry, favorite any words that you like.
I've been listening.
What's on your arm?
Oh, every day and every way I'm getting better and better.
So you remember that. You don't have
to.
Yeah,
I don't have to look.
So what's cool about eye movement is what we do is we ask for a baseline. And the baseline's pretty simple. I'm going to ask you questions that force you to use your visual cortex.
Right.
And there's lots of reasons people think this works. Some people think it don't. This is Bandler. This is Richard Bandler. I talked to him a while ago, by the way. I've asked him to do an interview, and I'll put that on a YouTube channel, even though I'm not doing a lot with my YouTube channel.
It's funny because when my wife got her degrees in psychology, she was big about that eye movement thing and the body language thing. It was a big deal that they had to do. So for a while there, I had to watch what I said to her. Because every time I'd say something, she's like, "Are you lying to me?" No. Why are you looking there? Why are you looking there? Like it, I mean, it was a kind of a joke thing, but it's very true. It does work that way. I learned a lot from it. That's how I do a lot of body language stuff with the people that we cover, is by watching. I learned a lot from her, trying to help her get through school. And it it's quite interesting, folks. It truly is. You can see it happen left and right. And it becomes a regular thing when you watch people in this stuff. I don't do it with people in general, like face to face, because I think that's wrong. But in here, when I'm watching these cases and stuff, I do it all the time, and it gives me good reason to help me judge people. So, in the situations, I mean.
But it uses your visual cortex, and so your eyes are going high in your head, meaning above your brow ridge, looking up. And you just did that, either right or left. And we ask a question that we want the person to answer, so we can figure out where they go, left or right. That's visual, up above the brow ridge. Sound is usually between the brow ridge and the cheekbone, either left or right. And we ask a question for memory, like your favorite song, like your favorite sentence, whatever it is. So the person goes and looks left or right for their baseline, and then we know they're left or right. And then down to the right is emotion, down to the left is internal voice. We see him go to emotion when he's talking about what they were wearing. Don't know why. I want to poke and prod and try to figure out, understand it a little bit. If I were poking and prodding and asking questions, I would try to baseline him pretty quickly. But he's not really even accessing after the emotional part. He's just looking at you and saying, and they were red and blue, and because he knows what they were wearing. Likely, he's not having to remember. If you almost every one of these people, the McCanns, anybody else, when you ask them what their kid was wearing, they have to remember. That's why you usually know they're not. This is an odd one. This is another red flag.
I urge the public to come out if you have anything, come out as fast as possible and get it to any detachment or any police service that you have available to get to talk to. And Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, and anything like that. Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack, bugs. They're like best friends.
This kid's on my radar.
He said loved in past tense there.
But even better.
Yes.
There's no emotion, no tears, no anything else. There's some contempt. Or disgust. I can't tell which. You'd have to go back and watch it. But early in, he's going to go to whatever police.
Any detachment or any police service that you have available.
He exposes his teeth. Either he's in contempt or, it's an exposing of canines, one or the other. I'm not sure which. But if you go back, you can freeze it and find it. There's a whole lot of mismatched signaling coming from this guy. Looking you dead in the eyes when he's trying to access. And then the fake cry. And it's just a whole lot. And then, loved.
Yes. I noticed as
Beautiful
soon as
catch.
he broke away, he immediately checked to see if his story was being bought. He was like,
confirming glance. It was almost like Phantom of the Opera or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that I had to show you because that's just it's something.
He's red flag boy.
There have been, for me, guys, a couple of his cries that I wondered, the emotional break, if it's real. But some people do it different, guys. Not everybody is visually the same when it comes to that kind of stuff. Maybe some people try to hold it back and then it looks weird. You know what I'm saying? So there's that too. Just saying. And I'll be honest with you. The interview of Daniel, that bothered me the most was the very first one. When he's out, I think it was raining, he's out in the field. There's something about his facial expressions on that one. I had my wife watch that one. She said, something's not right with that one. Now, I asked her, I said, what would you think? And she goes, well, it could be because he's stressed out. It could be because it's raining. He's uncomfortable. It could be because there was something happened before the interview that put him in that frame of whatever. Okay. But that's truly the only interview that ever red flagged me. But I'm not a psychologist. I don't see these things all the time like everybody else does. And like these guys. I do watch the eyes and stuff like that and the body language, but the rest of these interviews didn't bug me as much. That one, it did initially. That's just me, though. Jacob, welcome back, my friend. About a theories I have. What if the reason of the 8-hour delay is because one of the victims made it outside? If that true, could it have been Ethan because his leg injury? It makes sense. It does. That's interesting, Jacob. And make sure you save these questions for when we do the Idaho shows. I'd love to have your questions thrown. You always bring great questions, my friend. That why someone said early that morning they saw the sliding glass door open. Could be. That could be. That very well could be, or it could have just been left open from the intruder that came in and did what they did. But thank you, Jacob. Always appreciate your questions, my friend. Always. On we go. On we go.
Way for sure.
Yeah.
And now remember, let's talk about dynamics of relationship.
Right.
It's entirely possible that something happened that she was not part of,
right,
and that she was suspicious of, but party to and guilty feelings for. And it's
Yeah.
entirely possible they just feel guilty from the people being gone. But this guy has a ton of red flags.
Yeah.
My taste, and yours too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You probably got a ton more.
The big thing is that a lot of his stories are just very repetitive. He and this is not in this video specifically, but like in many of his videos, he repeats himself word for word. He goes like the story that he tells is exactly.
That's the biggest thing, folks, is to be able to read a body language on somebody like that. You kind of, Meg is right. You need to build a baseline first of the person. That's, again, something my wife has said repeatedly to me. And I try to do that from time to time. And you can't do that always based on some of these real quick interviews that just come and go. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard sometimes. So, but yeah, that's an important factor in this. Sometimes you can grab things right out of the gate that are just so evident. It's like, okay. But besides that, yeah, that's a great point and a great statement, Meg. That's what typically anybody truly.
Exactly the same. It doesn't change at all. And it's like, there's no, you can tell that he's retelling a story that he's thought of as opposed to reliving a memory, because I mean, obviously when you go back to a memory, it changes every time you go back to it.
It's normal when you get much older, you've lived through something for a long time. Like if I tell you a story about the Middle East, it's not going to be identical, but it's going to be damn close, because
of course.
I remember the parts that matter that people want to know and that kind of thing. And because it
early on, and there's not many places that do it in Canada, so they're flying somebody in.
Why do you think you need to do that? Do you think they don't believe you?
I think their side of the family doesn't believe me, and I just want to clear it up for everyone. Clear it up for everyone, not just the people online making crazy accusations and everything else.
Why a whole lot of downright there, if you notice, a whole lot of downright. But that could be because of the accusations. That could be because of a lot of other things. There's a whole lot of grief muscle here that we didn't see as much before. Around the lie detector. Maybe he'll get Jim Smith.
I hope so. Oh my goodness. Well, I thought it was interesting because him pointing out the crazy accusations online really just is like, it's making it about him and not about the kids. I thought that was interesting. What did you think of that?
Well, I will say they're not his kids. They're somebody else's kids. They're stepchildren, and some people can't deal well with that. Yeah, my son was my stepson, and I loved him more than anything in the world. Never ever thought I would have kids. And then when we were, because I was 40 when I settled down.
I think, Brian, oh Lord, come on, mods. It was like 18 minutes away or something, wasn't that, you guys?
I remember 18.
Yeah, she lives a pretty good distance away. And it's like, that's how far out they are, Brian. They're so spread out. It's yeah, Mom Bear's right. It was 18 something minutes, I think, or an 18-minute drive, I think is what I heard them say, to get to the next neighbor's house. So yeah. They're still there, Mama Bear? You muted real quick. I thought something was wrong.
Well, because it echoes.
Are you sure it wasn't that far? Oh shit, you're right. I know it's spread out quite a distance. So I thought it was 18 something too, but we could be wrong. It's okay.
Maybe it was 8. I'll find it and see if I can find
18
it.
miles? Maybe 18 miles. I don't remember, guys. We'll find it out, Brian, but it's a long distance, and they're all spread out pretty decently because they're out in the middle of nowhere, truly.
So for me, it was one of the best parts of my life. Some people don't feel that way about their spouse's children, so they don't have the connection. And how long they've been together?
2 years, I think, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, a lot of times, if this guy doesn't have a real connection with those children, the grief around him will be more powerful than the grief around the children about all the accusations and that stuff. So I try to listen to. I try, and me, I try to advocate and give everybody an opportunity and say what's possibly happening.
Yeah.
That still doesn't mean that I trust this guy.
No.
So just because he's showing more grief around being polygraphed and accusations, not surprised.
Yeah.
And how old are they? 30-ish. somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think so.
Malaya's 27, Daniel's 32 or 30, I think 33. 33. And yes, it's way out in the middle of nowhere. Mama Bear says 8 kilometers by road. There we go. Thank you, Mama Bear.
I knew there was an 8 in there somewhere.
Yeah, me too. I don't know where the 18 came from, but yes.
Or
yes,
roughly 5 kilometers east of the Sullivan family's home as the crow flies.
There you go. Follow that crow. And yeah, you definitely wouldn't, like Alicia's right. You definitely couldn't see their house from her house. That
No.
neighbor, that one neighbor that came forward and stated, unless she drove by being nosy, you know. So yeah. Okay, everyone hating on grapefruit, try it with. I like it with sugar. A little bit of sugar on it. I love it. Truly, I do. But the citrus kills my acid reflux. So
Ew, grapefruit's nasty.
I love grapefruit. A little bit of sugar on that stuff. We used to eat it all the time for breakfast. It's pretty good. It does have a taste. You got to either like it or hate it. One of the two. I don't know about salt though, Demon. That's yeah. Then again, I put salt on apples and watermelon and cantaloupe too, so that's me. But
Brian, you don't do crows.
cheese on apple pie scares you? Why does it scare you, chick? I've never heard that. That's funny. I never understood why people put it on there, but I don't want to say it scares me. But just saying. No, I didn't put it back up yet. Sorry, guys. I have to keep pulling it down because of the echo. Sorry.
Have the connection. And how long they've been together?
2 years, I think, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, a lot of times, if this guy doesn't have a real connection with those children, the grief around him will be more powerful than the grief around the children about all the accusations and that stuff. So
Right.
I try to listen to, and you know me, I try to advocate and give everybody an opportunity and say what's possibly happening. That still doesn't mean that I trust this guy.
No.
So just because he's showing more grief around being polygraphed and accusations, not surprised.
Yeah.
And how old are they? 30-ish, somewhere in there?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's a really interesting study I read years ago. I'll have to find and quote it, but they show babies to men and women. All women's pupils dilate when they see babies. All young men's pupils are dependent.
I don't know what you mean by that, Joey. I've never even heard of pea soup lake.
Whether they dilate or not. If they are pair bonded with a woman in there, and I don't know, they've tried this with gay men or any of that, but when they're pair bonded with a woman, their pupils dilate when they see babies. So there's something about relationship that changes things too. And young men typically are like, I grew up in a world where everybody was, I said this to somebody yesterday, I grew up in a world where everybody was fit, young, and had a long life ahead of them except for combat. So most of my friends were between 25 and 35. The old guys were getting ready to retire by 38 and 40, right in there. So we had an artificial sense of what's normal. And young men typically don't think.
I know that they have checked multiple water sources there. They dived. That one I don't know about, Joey. I never heard of that one. I'll have to look on the map for it. But I know they've searched certain waterways. I don't know for sure if Pea Soup Lake was one of them, but I would imagine if it's close, probably, or I would hope so at least. Thank you for the input, though.
About things the same way young women do. You're better at paying attention to a lot of detail that young men don't, even military guys, because we are focused on different kinds of things. And your brains notice details on a level that ours just simply don't. They're looking for different things. They're paying attention to the connection between things. And people will somebody watching this will be upset because I say, your brains are designed for nurture and ours are not.
Yeah.
It's not. We can learn. Don't get me wrong. We can learn. But your brain constantly pays attention to things and looks at it 50 times. My brain goes, I got a plan and we're going to get it done.
Yeah.
It's the way our brains are wired. Now, that doesn't mean that either one of us is going to be better than the other in a skill set because of that. But it means that her story is going to be more, and his is going to be a big sweeping, moving thing with big blocks. And that's what we're seeing. It's about the family. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Where she's talking about the kids and about what happened and what could be going on in the search. He's going, they're gone. They took their backpack and left. You know, he's telling big stories that he came to tell.
Yeah.
And then he's also in this piece doing something that's all about how people feel about him.
Yeah.
How people, and it's not just me, it's everybody. I'm going to have everybody. You know,
Yeah.
if Mark were here, Mark would say, everybody in Nova Scotia is getting autographed. So Mark reads into those big disclaimers. It's like, no, they can't disclaim, they can't polygraph everybody. I might be there. What are they going to polygraph me? So he's talking in big sweeping terms that he's trying to fix the problem, all this kind of stuff. That again makes you go, why do you want everybody polygraphed? Who's at your house? That might be who I would start with. Who was there yesterday, the day before?
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I think again, I feel like a lot of what these people do is they really just try to redirect the attention off of them. That's kind of the impression that I'm getting.
No, I agree with you here. When he does that broadening of the possible, this is, as Chase would he always say something about introducing vagueness or introducing ambiguity.
Yeah.
So, I interrogated prisoners for 20 years. Prisoners try to avoid answering questions.
Right.
It's what they do best because they got all the time in the world on their hands. This feels a lot like, everybody. Now we're getting to big terms. We're getting to big things where everybody's possibly a suspect.
Yeah.
Because if everybody's a suspect, then I'm less likely to be the guy. So
right.
You see it. I agree with you there. Good call.
Thank you.
You mentioned last time we chatted that you'd offered to do a polygraph test.
That is correct.
Has that already happened?
That has happened.
Right. And did you get results from that yet?
I do have results, and I don't know if I can share those results, but they were good in my favor, we'll say that. Trust the RCMP word, and I mean, you don't have to trust my word, but I'm the only one doing media for Jack and Lilly, trying to keep the story alive and get them found.
Two things right off. And remember, this is the first time I've watched this.
Yeah.
Moral high ground and rising up on his feet and leaning in. So people will say rising on your feet is a gravity-defying act. It's also an adapter. At the end of the day, energy's got to go somewhere. And he's taking moral high ground. Look, it's me. I'm the only person. Did you see any illustrators?
Mm-mm.
Something missing.
Wow.
What do you have? Because you watched this before. You probably have a whole lot of stuff to.
Well, I didn't know. I'm so torn on this because I was just thinking of like the implications of if he was not telling the truth there versus, I mean, but it's also just like a very vague answer that he's given. He doesn't straight up say yes or no.
I don't think this guy might be quite capable of giving good direct. Because communication styles come and go with people, and this is the reason I'm always funny about using tense, because people change tenses casually, not like loved. That's a different story.
Yeah.
But people change tenses casually. I'm from South Georgia, and people there talk in multiple tenses in the same sentence sometimes.
Right.
It's just like, and it has to do with education, with colloquial speech patterns. I mean, you live in the woods, some of your neighbors have great speech patterns.
Yeah.
You can't understand them. It's just the nature of the people. So I'm careful with all of that. The movement, and look, this is the cool part of what we do. If I were going back and analyzing these guys, I'd go back through with a fine-tooth comb. But what we can say, and what I always said as an interrogator, is, you just got my attention. Now I'll dig in. I may say you didn't do anything wrong when I'm done, but this guy would really not like the level of attention I would give him because of a handful of things. And if he thinks people think he's done something wrong, ding, 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 red flag, red flag, red flag. It doesn't mean you did anything, but it does mean you've given us reason to be suspicious. And that's enough, because they're babies. These are children. You shouldn't be angry when people are trying to help you. You should be angry if they're accusing you. And that we expect that. We should expect the guy to be a little more agitated. If he's being accused of killing his stepchildren or doing something to disappear his stepchildren, you would think he'd be pretty adamant and pretty angry.
Yeah.
So I see energy movement. I see all that. I don't see a lot of, I didn't do anything. I don't see a lot of illustrators. I don't see a lot of denial or emphatic behavior, chin thrusts, and those kinds of things, defiance.
Yeah.
We also don't know anything about him.
Right.
Has he been in jail? Has he been, so there's a ton of stuff to learn.
Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns.
Really good videos, though, Sadie.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching them with me and your brilliant commentary. It's just been.
I don't know about that. It's just what I noticed. It's just.
Oh, I love it. It's so great.
So that takes care of that. I do have, very sadly, some bad news. They weren't found or nothing like that, but what I consider bad news when it comes to a case like this. It's really shitty that this happens so regularly, but it does. Let me throw this in here for you guys real quick. Hang on. So it says search group warns against fake fundraiser exploiting 2 children missing in Nova Scotia. Halifax Search and Rescue's warning against fraudsters impersonating their group who claim that they'll use donated cash to search for 2 missing children. Paul Service, director of the volunteer organization, says a GoFundMe campaign attempted to raise $100,000 to fund a drone search for 4-year-old Jack and Lily Sullivan. A large-scale search was launched for the 2 children after they disappeared on May 2nd in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia. There have been 2 smaller efforts since then involving search volunteers. A nonprofit group says it doesn't normally request donations through GoFundMe and doesn't base its campaigns on particular searches. Service says a representative from GoFundMe contacted him to say it was taking down the site and investigating after the campaign was reported on CBC. He says that it is disheartening for his group to have to cope with scams, as it may discourage the public from donating to his group's legitimate fundraising efforts. See, this is disgusting, folks. Anytime, I don't know how many times we've seen this now. Anytime something like this happens, it seems that there is some form of fraud out there. People trying to bank off this shit constantly, and it makes me sick. There's always a scam on this. These are kids, for God's sakes, okay? You should just be out here doing anything you can do to help find these kids and not trying to get rich on this bullshit. This makes me sick. Truly makes me sick. So be prepared, or just be vigilant. Pay attention and make sure that what you're looking at, if you're going to do this to help, make sure it's real, folks. Thank you, Alicia, for bringing that to my attention. This is just sick to me, you guys. It really is sick to me. Ugh. God, I hate that stuff. So, all right, guys. So again, there is hold on. 1 minute. Hold on a minute here.
Exactly, Alicia. Double check it, triple check it, verify whatever you're donating to. Don't just automatically donate.
All right, y'all. Moving on to the next little piece of conversation stuff we're talking about here. Give me 1 minute. I don't know how many of you guys know what's going on with this, but 1 moment here.
Trigger warning. This video includes sensitive and violent content that may not be suitable for all viewers. This video is for 18+ only.
Just a little preparation for those of you that are familiar or not familiar with this. This can be triggering to an extent.
That we have been following here over the past several days. A lot of information developing as law enforcement agencies are continuing an extensive search for Travis Decker, the man wanted for the kidnapping and murder of his 3 daughters in Wenatchee, that is over in Washington. Now, on Wednesday afternoon, aerial and ground operations were underway with additional federal investigators joining in on the manhunt. Authorities are on site at the Johnny Creek campground looking Now, the sheriff's office there and partner agencies are conducting a large-scale search across the county, including local national forest and wilderness areas. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office has provided helicopters to assist in the search, and the Air Support Unit is also conducting air operations in a similar area. A reward of up to $20,000 being offered for information that leads to Decker's arrest. He is considered to be armed and dangerous. Law enforcement urging anyone with information not to approach him, but to contact authorities right away if they do see him. Now, according to investigators there, they said, quote, the numerous tips that have come in from the public is greatly appreciated, along with the many offers for assistance from off-road vehicle owners and backcountry experts.
Hey, Josie
to provide
Joe.
guide services, equipment, and even horses if needed. Again, that was a statement from investigators. Those Wenatchee girls, ages 5, 8, and 9, were reported missing on Friday, May 30th, and sadly found dead on Monday. The Washington State Patrol was contacted Friday night to request an Amber Alert, but it did not meet the required criteria, according to investigators. On Saturday, Wenatchee police detectives provided additional information, and an endangered missing person alert was issued there. Authorities searching for Travis Decker, wanted for 3 counts of first-degree murder and first-degree kidnapping in connection with the deaths of his daughters. The girls' bodies were found at Rock Island Campground on June 3rd, days after they were reported missing, with preliminary examination suggesting that they died of asphyxiation. Again, a lot of information coming in here, and I do want to bring in Mike Gould, the founding member of the NYPD K-9 unit and a former lieutenant with Nassau County Police, to discuss all of this. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today as we do discuss this very disturbing and sad story.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And first off, I do want to talk to you overall about the manhunt, the search efforts there, as we do know this man, according to authorities, has military experience. And how does that kind of change the search efforts here as they are looking for him?
Yeah, so it's complicated in one aspect, but it's simpler in the other. In a rural environment like this, it's just about communication, coordination of the assets. So when you have these multiple agencies all descending on this crime scene, so to speak, it's the coordination and communication. They have to clear certain areas. You don't want to miss them. You don't want to assume one agency looked here and another agency looked there. So coordination. Law enforcement's going in there with all the assets that we have available to us. So it's, in my opinion, all of these things, all manhunts, it's not a question of if, it's just a question of when, and regardless of the person's survival skills, it might prolong it a little bit, but he's ultimately going to be captured.
And I do want to say viewer discretion advised, as some of the details are disturbing. Now, according to authorities, there was the presence of zip ties and plastic bags there. So what does that indicate about the planning, the intent behind this crime?
Yeah, so obviously, again, with that little bit of information, I can only opine that there was some level of premeditation. This wasn't a spontaneous action. And obviously, mental illness is playing a huge part of this. So from my perspective, for the manhunt part, it's really not relevant. They need to, as I discussed in many of these interviews, the best technology available to law enforcement today, as it was thousands of years ago, is a dog. The dogs are going to be, they can outperform helicopters, they can outperform drones, robots, they have night vision, they're weather resistant, they move at 30 miles an hour. They are going to be key in this environment. If it was Midtown Manhattan or Times Square, I'd have a different opinion, but dogs properly used here are going to be the key in locating this crazy person.
And a lot of tips are coming in here in large numbers, according to authorities. So when you have a massive search, a manhunt that is underway like this, how do authorities go about essentially kind of narrowing the ones down, vetting them to what is actually significant and what probably isn't?
Right. So unfortunately, at this stage of the game, they have to operate on every tip. They have to take every tip. And truthfully, a lot of times this person is going to show up. But food is the motivator for all animals. So at some point, he's going to need food. He might be able to live off the land for a couple of months or maybe longer. But in the winter, sooner or later, he has to come out from hiding. And when he comes out, it triggers motion detectors. If your dog is barking at 2 o'clock in the morning, call 911, because I can tell you your dog is barking for a reason. And sometimes people overlook the fact that your own little pet at home is a perfect alarm system that you should rely on. And law enforcement, of course, they have to investigate every lead at this point and not get ahead of themselves. A lot of times, if a person is missing for 1 or 2 days, we've been thinking our brain that he's off to Mexico somewhere. My hunch is, Josh, he's going to be found relatively close to where he is now, in a place of familiarity. He was a survivalist. Wherever he went out and survived and practiced his survival skills, you don't want to go to a place of unfamiliarity. And movement is going to be what causes him. So he wants to hunker down somewhere and let law enforcement do their thing and let them bypass them. So law enforcement has to be careful. They don't get ahead of themselves and they slow down their search and think about the proximity. My prediction is going to be found relatively close to the scene.
One thing I want to ask about is the surveillance aspect, because in a situation like this, we're talking about rural, semi-rural areas like this, traffic cams, drones, license plate readers. What kind of surveillance is being used right now, more than likely?
Yeah, all of those things, cell phone pings, if there is. This is somewhat unusual. So I believe this is 90% wilderness, if I understand it correctly. So a lot of technology that we would normally use on an interstate or something like that is not going to be available. And that's why I go back. Actually, I can't help myself. But the dogs are the detection technology that is going to, and so, license plate readers, you have to have license plates. So there's not a lot of activity there. So I think that, and again, helicopters, drones, they're all susceptible to weather conditions. So if you think dogs have night vision, that's pretty incredible, and they're weatherproof, and they can move at 30 miles an hour. So they're going to be key to this search if they're used properly.
One thing I want to get kind of your take on, because you did serve, of course, with several agencies, is we're talking about a very gruesome crime. Again, viewer discretion advised here. We talked about zip ties, plastic bags. So I have to imagine that this is also difficult on the law enforcement officers, the different agencies that are out there working this case as well.
Yeah, of course it is, Josh. I can only speak of my own personal experience. I've been around in law enforcement for 25 years. I was at the scene of commercial airline crashes, 9/11. I've been at the scene of the most gruesome, horrific crime scenes, really, that you could possibly imagine. So with that said, I personally have a way of, I'm desensitized to it, I'm detached from it, and I compartmentalize. Maybe from a psychological point of view, that's not good, but I can't dwell on those things. I will say, for universally in law enforcement, when children or animals are the victim of these crimes, it is an extra level of emotion. But from my own perspective, you can't do this for 25 years like a surgeon in an emergency room. You have to have some level of desensitized to these things.
My last question for you here before I let you go. One big topic that has been discussed over the last several days, and I mentioned this leading into you, is that no Amber Alert was issued because authorities there said that the situation didn't meet the criteria. Could this lead, in just kind of your experience here, to maybe any kind of changes in those requirements? Are they likely to do a review of that? Because it's not clear if an Amber Alert would have helped, but obviously that's something that a lot of people are questioning.
Sure, Josh. So, yeah, we learn from our mistakes, right? So, and I don't know the exact facts of the Amber Alert or the requirements for it. But yeah, of course, these things should be modified so this doesn't happen again. I don't think an Amber Alert would necessarily be of any value in this particular case, but you try to do everything you possibly can, all the resources. My biggest recommendation or my biggest hope is that the emotional part has to subside, and law enforcement, which I don't think so. You got some of the best law enforcement agencies in the world working on this. So again, it's a matter of time. People have to slow down. You kind of have to remove the emotional aspect of it, because that's when people get hurt. The law enforcement get hurt. You just have to kind of slow down, be methodical. You don't want to pass by an area and find out this guy who's been hunkered down a half a mile away from the campsite, and you guys were all, law enforcement was way ahead. So yeah, it's one of those difficult things. He will be found. Trust me.
And I'm sure he will, hopefully sooner rather than later. Mike Gould, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here and discuss this, of course, based on your expertise and experience. Is there anything else you want to add about any of this before I let you go?
No, just that the citizens have situational awareness. There's citizens out there, and this person is obviously he's not potentially dangerous, he is dangerous. And he's not the normal criminal. Normal, when I say normal, they don't want to make contact with humans. They stay away. But at the time that he becomes hungry and he needs transportation or something, just be aware of your motion detector lights outside. As I said earlier, your dog barking, call 911.
Yeah, I'd like to get my hands on him personally myself. I'm one of them guys because it's just disgusting to me. You're such a coward and piece of shit. You couldn't just walk away. You couldn't just walk away. You had to do the absolute most unbelievable thing you can think of. Garbage. Garbage. All right, guys. This is the newest press conference released this morning on this. I can't even with this guy. He's beyond a monster to me.
Is everybody ready?
Yeah, I did see that one. This is the newest one from my understanding. This came out 3 hours ago. Thank you, Markley. Sorry.
Try not to tip over the podium here. Okay, I am Captain Brian Chance with the Wenatchee Police Department. This is Sheriff Morrison, obviously, with the Chelan County. And I'm going to start out the press release and talk about how we got to where we did just a couple of days ago or just yesterday. So I'll start off and give you a timeline of the involvement of Wenatchee Police Department in this case.
Yeah, Meg, I saw that this morning. If I do it, I'm going to do it later on this like early evening, maybe.
On May 30th, at about 9:35 p.m., Wenatchee police officer Corporal Gonzalez responded to a call of a civil complaint. In responding to that call, he interviewed Whitney, the mother of the 3 young girls. There was no reported history of problems with the parenting plan. There were reported concerns of Travis being homeless and financially stressed recently. Whitney was clear.
Yeah, Christy's right. And thank you so much, Meg, for the info and trying to give us a heads up. I appreciate that very much, by the way, just so you know. And yes, Christy, it's pretty much, there's a couple in there that'd be interesting to read, but not a lot of anything. So like I said, we got Mama Bear show at 3, and then later on, maybe after that, I'll run through those just with us. So sounds great. And thank you again.
Here that during the exchanges that had occurred in the past, that Travis was very communicative with her in any deviations from the parenting plan. Corporal Gonzalez, after speaking with Whitney, was able to identify Decker's vehicle through a local database called Spillman. He took the vehicle information and was able to enter it into Flock, which is a system of cameras that are located within the city and also in Chelan County. Flock located the vehicle, the white GMC Sierra, traveling northbound across the Wenatchee River Bridge. This was shortly after Decker.
I'll be honest with you guys. I think he's deceased. I think he took his own life because he's a coward. That's just my opinion. Hopefully not, because I want to see him face justice in the best way possible. But that's what I think happened, just so everybody knows.
Had picked up the children for the visitation. After this information was obtained, and in addition to information that had been received by Whitney that Travis frequented local hotels and often local campgrounds as well, all local hotels and campgrounds in East Wenatchee and Wenatchee were checked by patrol officers from those jurisdictions, and Decker was not located. Park rangers were also contacted at Confluence Park and made aware of the situation. An attempt to locate was then sent out by Corporal Gonzalez to all regional agencies containing Decker's information along with the vehicle information. After that, Corporal Gonzalez made contact with Washington State Patrol and consulted their unit for an Amber Alert. The information at the time did not meet the threshold for an Amber Alert. On May
That right there, I'm sick of hearing that. 3 babies taken and killed because it didn't meet the qualification. I'm not saying the Amber Alert would have stopped it, but guys, this is the problem. One of the problems. An Amber Alert will allow authorities to get the kids that go missing very much quicker, but this is bullshit. There shouldn't be any kind of qualifications other than the fact that it's a child and they're missing, period. And I'm so fucking tired of seeing this. Sorry for my language, but I'm not. I'm just beyond disgusted. This is why we lose kids so often anymore. There's so many things that can be done to prevent this. Now, in this case, Sarah, I don't know, okay? But maybe if they could just do it, okay? It's so ridiculous. God.
Gonzalez contacted Sergeant Eaton at about 7 a.m. and advised him of the situation. After that conversation had occurred, Detective Brian Hewitt with the Wenatchee Police Department and Detective Sergeant Joe Eaton discussed the incident as well, and Detective Hewitt responded that day to continue the investigation. The family was contacted and additional information was obtained. He learned Travis and the daughters did not arrive at a planned 5K running event that morning, which was out of the ordinary to Whitney. Travis had recently had a recent history of attending and being present for all the daughters' events and programs. And, excuse me, at that point, Detective Hewitt started to reach out to some of his contacts at the state and federal levels as well. He enlisted the assistance of the FBI, and with assistance from the FBI, phone location data was obtained for Thursday through Friday, plotting locations in and around Leavenworth. Detective Hewitt then, with that information, went to Leavenworth and started focusing on the areas of Chumstick and Icicle Road, and did not have any success in locating Travis or his vehicle or the girls. Throughout that day, Detective Hewitt had multiple contacts again with WSP, or Washington State Patrol, and continued to provide updates and request an Amber Alert, which still the information that he provided and had obtained did not meet the threshold for the Amber Alert to be activated. However, an Endangered and Missing Person Alert, an EMPA, was activated by the Washington State Patrol at approximately 4:00 p.m. I want to explain a little bit that the Endangered and Missing Person Alert does generate a flyer that goes out to all the contacts through that State Patrol Missing and Endangered Person Unit, so that goes statewide. As well, the information for the alert is posted on the reader boards that I'm sure everybody's familiar with on the state highways around Washington, and those were activated here locally on the major ingress and egress highways such as Highway 2 and I-90. Also, on May 31st, Detective Hewitt had developed and communicated probable cause for custodial interference first degree, 3 counts of custodial interference first degree, and began assembling the paperwork to obtain those warrants. The following day, on June 1st, Detective Hewitt conducted additional follow-up and completed his initial report and request for the arrest warrants for custodial interference, which were granted and later entered into the system. The following day, which was Monday, the WPD Detective Unit met to devise a plan for the day on follow-up and submitting necessary paperwork for the warrant to ensure that had all gone through. WSP was contacted again, referenced the Amber Alert, yet we still didn't meet the criteria. The EMPA was deemed to be the best fitting alert, and one of the things that I want to share with everybody about that EMPA, because it is a, I'll say, level below or degree below the amber alert, it actually comes with an expiration time. And we were able to work with WSP because we did actually reach our expiration for that alert, and it by policy was supposed to have been pulled down. But through good communication, good cooperation, and the relationship that we've built with Washington State Patrol over a long period of time, they agreed to leave that up. And we also enlisted the cooperation of the Department of Transportation as well, who has some input and does actually help WSP run those reader boards as well. So we were able to get that cooperation. And so I want to emphasize that WSP was very good to work with, as was DOT, and we had that information up and available to the public for as long as possible, extending past what the policy said it should have been up there for. Also on Monday, CCSO detectives were contacted and assisted. We communicated with them and developed a plan for CCSO detectives to check the areas of Chumstick and Icicle Road as well. Myself, Sergeant Eaton, and Detective Hewitt, shortly after coordinating with CCSO units, contacted the family and requested a meeting at the Wenatchee Police Department with the family and family representatives at approximately 10 a.m. The primary intent of the meeting was to provide an update to the family and answer any questions that they had about the ongoing investigation. The meeting was very positive and focused on maintaining good communication flowing back and forth both directions to maximize the exchange of information. At about 3:47 p.m., a CCSO deputy located the vehicle up the Icicle near the Rock Island campground. Sergeant Eaton and Detective Hewitt immediately responded to there to assist, and I remained at WPD to continue communication with the family and to coordinate additional law enforcement assistance from down here in the valley should it be needed. Upon arrival at the camp, upon arrival up there, the WPD units that responded connected with CCSO deputies that had responded to the scene as well. And from there, they began their ground search of the immediate area around the vehicle. The initial information that we were provided following the locating of the vehicle was that the vehicle was unoccupied, and shortly thereafter we were advised that the bodies of the three young girls had been located in relatively close proximity to that vehicle, and Travis was nowhere to be found. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Sheriff Morrison and allow him to continue the press conference.
Thank you, Captain. Evening. I'm Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison. I appreciate all you being here. I really want to make sure that I point out that it's moments like these where we see our community coming together, paying respects to those young individuals that lost their lives. I want to pay respects to Peyton, Evelyn, Olivia. Your memory will never be forgotten, and we will not stop pursuing justice for you until those that were accountable for this are found. So I do appreciate everyone being here. To follow up, because I know the Captain Chance has already touched on a lot of the topics that we've already discussed, I want to give thanks to the Wenatchee Police Department, Chief Reinfeld, Captain Miller, Captain Chance, Sergeant Eaton with the Detectives Unit that provided Chelan County Sheriff's Office with the information we needed to properly assist them. For those of you who don't know, Chelan County is a large area. We have 2,900 plus square miles. When you're talking about trying to find individuals in a geographically diverse terrain, it's difficult. But by them doing their investigation follow through over the weekend, we're able to pinpoint it in the areas of Chumstick Highway, Icicle, Tumwater Canyon. I know that many of you here from the area recognize that's still a pretty large area, but we're fortunate to have partnerships with the U.S. Forest Service that funds some of our deputies, specifically U.S. Forest Service deputies that are contracted with us. Our Forest Service deputy was able to go up the Icicle. We're about 18 miles up for those of you who have not been up there. And that deputy was able to locate the vehicle of the suspect. We did back off to make sure we were in compliance with Washington state law when it comes to de-escalation, controlling pace. We called additional units. I know that many members of the community were concerned, asking why we were having deputies, police officers from East Wenatchee, Douglas County, Wenatchee PD, responding at a high rate of speed. This was an important situation for us. We took it as a high priority. Once we had additional units on scene, we did secure the vehicle, determined that we were able to bring in additional resources, which was our East Cascade SWAT team that did an additional search of the surrounding area of the campsite in question until we determined that a perimeter had been established and that it was safe enough for additional detectives and the Washington State Patrol's crime lab to come in and assist us as we process that scene. As Captain Chance already mentioned, that was prompted when we did find the bodies of the deceased. Again, our condolences and our heartfelt sympathy goes out to the Decker family. We know they're struggling, but I want them to know they're not struggling alone. We suffer as a community. It has hit many of us hard. Going on 20 years, I don't think I've had a situation that has really almost prompted tears to come up. We feel for the family, and we see as everyone else is out here, they're not suffering alone. There's a lot of people here supporting them. We were able to do an extensive processing of the scene throughout the night while we maintained perimeter security. Once that was secured, the vehicle was taken back for an additional search warrant. We brought in additional units to come in and assist us. That'd be our federal partners from U.S. Border Patrol, Homeland Security Investigations, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Marshal's Office. They did an extensive search today, in addition to the Air National Guard, bringing in aviation supplies to come in, fly over there. We had drones in the air. We've been conducting a search since early this morning up until later on this afternoon. That, unfortunately, has not allowed us to locate the suspect yet, but we are not done searching. As we speak, the Marshal's Office, the FBI, they're processing leads, they're conducting follow-up, and we will not rest until Travis is located. Travis, if you're listening, this is your opportunity to turn yourself in. Do the right thing, do what you need to do, and take accountability for your actions. We're not going to go away, we're not going to rest, and we're going to make sure we find you. You will be brought to justice. Those young ladies deserve it. We will take additional questions later on, but the Sheriff's Office, the Wenatchee Police Department, East Wenatchee, Douglas County, and all of our federal partners are going to continue to work with one another to ensure that justice is served. Thank you.
Sheriff, is their dad still alive?
We are unsure if Mr. Decker is currently alive, but we are taking it that he is still out there. And again, we will not rest until we've located him, whether he's alive or he's dead. We want to make sure that he's brought back.
And for the public that's keeping an eye out for him, is there anything in his records that would suggest that he is fine?
Not at this time, but based off the allegations that are being made against him, we do consider him to be a threat towards the community. We also ask the community to stay out of the Icicle Gorge area for the time being until we can secure that area and ensure that he is not there. That is a big area. We're talking about the enchantments, we're talking about French Creek, going up on those spur trails. It's a popular area that we like to recreate in as well. We don't close it down or encourage people not to go there lightly, but for the best interest of the public, we'd encourage them find other places to recreate until we can ensure that that area is safe. Can you come a little bit closer, ma'am? Thank you.
Would you mind providing a little bit additional details about the scene where the girls were found?
Within reason, but I'm not going to go into a lot of details in regards to the scene because our investigative unit has requested that a lot of that information remain private until we can ensure that the information we are sharing is not going to compromise the investigation. Again, we don't want to rush. We don't want to take any chances that we would give him any opportunity to be able to beat this later on in court.
Is there a belief that he could be outside this area you guys are searching right now, or is there a strong belief that this is the area?
Nope. We have no leads that are showing specifically where he's at. So as we're taking it, he could be anywhere within the nation. And that's why we have our federal partners on scene helping us bring in additional resources that a medium-sized agency like Chelan County would not be able to provide. Again, this is the importance of having those partnerships with federal government and larger agencies, especially Washington State Patrol. We cannot do this without their assistance, and we're thankful for that.
Do you have any reason to believe Mr. Decker might have found a second vehicle to travel in?
That could be a possibility. Nothing's off the table. We're going to continue to actively pursue him, and we understand that he could be anywhere, and we're taking that into consideration. Thanks to the U.S. Marshal's Office that have come in and brought additional resources. Again, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, Homeland Security Investigations. We are searching anywhere and everywhere for him.
Sheriff, thanks for taking our questions. Have you had any contact with Mr. Decker's family?
We have. We've been in continuous contact. I know that Captain Chance and Captain Miller have been in regular communications with them. I spoke with them yesterday and today and assured them that anything they needed from our local resources, they were available. They are absolutely cooperating. They have been very supportive of our efforts, and we've reminded them we could not do this. We could not conduct our investigation and have a better understanding of Travis without their assistance. And again, we're very appreciative of what they've done so far.
Is Upper Icicle Road still physically barricaded to the point where the people cannot travel further?
Our barricade will be lifted later on today. Again, we have continued to expand our search further and further down Icicle. Last I heard, we were around milepost 4. Again, we're encouraging people, do not go there. Even if our roadblock is lifted, we are not saying that the area is safe. Until we locate him, we're determining nothing's off the table.
Mr. Decker had a dog with him at certain points. Do we know if the dog was present at that campsite at any point?
We do know the dog was present and that our units, when they arrived on scene, did locate the dog.
Has there been any use of canines in the search?
I would check with our captain, but I am not sure if a dog's been used.
Has there been any other evidence found, bone or anything like that?
There has been other evidence found. We really appreciate Washington State Patrol and their crime lab team for coming in, doing such a thorough search. Our investigative units with detectives, Wenatchee PD, Chelan County Sheriff's Office, again, we did not hustle this. We went through, we were methodical with it, and we made sure to cover every single thing possible because we recognize the weight of this situation.
Sheriff, a question from our newsroom right now. Do you know if any of Mr. Decker's family members are missing, his dad perhaps?
We've been in communication with several members of Mr. Decker's family. We know that they've also been willing to cooperate with us. I believe his dad's flying in to talk with us and work with us a little bit further. We appreciate their cooperation as well. At this time, I'm not aware of his father being missing or any other members of his family missing. Again, that's just based off the information I currently have. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We know that our coroner's office, that'd be the Chelan County's coroner's office, is going through that process and will continue to do their portion of the investigation as well. I won't speak on that half.
Have the girls been brought physically home?
They are still being cared for by the Chelan County coroner's office.
Was there any sign of any other vehicles in the area?
At this time, we have not gotten an update for what additional information has been obtained today. We just know the investigation's ongoing. We'll conclude it at that. Appreciate it. We will have another press conference tomorrow. I believe that's going to be at 1800 hours. Again, we appreciate everyone being out here, showing support for the family. I can tell you they do appreciate all of you being here. We spoke with them. This is the kind of support you like to see from our county. It really represents what Chelan County is all about. And again, the family thanks you for that. And any information that you have that could assist us with the investigation, please continue to bring that information in. We do have the FBI, in addition to members of the Wenatchee Police Department, Chelan County Sheriff's Office, that is working leads, following up on them actively, and we have analysts going through data online as well. We are taking this serious, and we'll continue to do what we can to assist. Thank you.
So that's the newest press conference that was dropped 3 hours ago. Yeah. I don't even know what to say, you guys. I can't fathom this at all. It makes me want to vomit just looking at this idiot's face.
We start tonight.
Truly does. This was a news segment dropped 13 hours ago on this.
Wasn't he spotted in Idaho?
Yeah, that's where they believe he is now, is in Idaho. Sorry about the echo. I'm about to play this. But yeah, of all places to be. Imagine that, you know?
No sound, dude.
Those original sightings that we were hearing about earlier, the developing news after reports of sightings of Travis Decker, the man you see here. He is wanted for killing 3 of his own daughters. And investigators say that those original sightings that we were hearing about earlier in the day weren't Decker after all. Now, all that news comes after talk of him being spotted in both Idaho and in the Wenatchee area.
But we are getting new ring camera video from the Chelan County Sheriff's Office showing Decker from the days leading up to his visitation with his daughters. It's giving us a better visual of Decker and his current appearance. You can see he has a ponytail in this ring video that you're seeing right there leaning into the shot.
We also have some new images showing his appearance from the days leading up to his visitation. The Sheriff's Office says they gathered new information about him as well. The big takeaways here: Decker is well-versed in wilderness survival and capable of spending days or even weeks in the woods with little equipment. Good evening, and thanks for joining us for Fox 13 News at 9. I'm Matthew Smith.
And I'm Sabir Rayford. Fox 13's Alejandro Guzman is joining us live from Wenatchee. Alley, investigators say he could be hiding anywhere.
That's right. As you guys mentioned, this manhunt is still ongoing tonight. Specifically, we're focusing on some of the challenges officials are currently facing because, as you guys mentioned, Sheriff Morrison is saying that Decker is essentially a survivalist who could essentially live out off the grid for months on end if that were the case. He said he spoke to his father, who told him that this is a hobby that he cultivated his entire life, but yet he remains optimistic tonight that the father will be brought to justice for his actions.
Clearly, this is not the outcome we wanted to see.
As the search for Travis Decker continues in Chelan County, the community of Wenatchee is remembering the young lives of Peyton, Olivia, and Evelyn.
It's not the decision of a sound mind, and these young girls were a victim.
Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison is confident Travis Decker will be found despite his ability to survive outdoors for months at a time, a hobby Decker's father says he cultivated as a young boy.
So we understand that that's a possibility, that he could have scoped out this area before, put supplies out there, and has the ability and the knowledge to survive for a long period of time.
Decker has about a 3-day head start. Morrison says U.S. Marshals have tracked down leads, giving them an insight into Decker's mindset. In the meantime, helicopters have been expanding their search after Morrison says they spotted a shirt in Icicle Creek. A swift water rescue team was also brought in to comb through the 8-mile stretch body of water.
But at this time, we have not found Travis. My message is still the same. Travis, if you're out there seeing us, we'd like you to turn yourself in. We want a peaceful resolution to this.
Many communities gathered once again in honor of these 3 little girls, lighting candles and sharing silent prayers. A $20,000 reward for any information that leads to Decker's arrest still stands. Sheriff Morrison tells me that he even heard of sightings as far away as Texas, and he says that while their search does continue here on the ground, they are relying on this multi-agency and, of course, out-of-state agencies to help them prove the validity of these sightings. But, of course, they're encouraging everyone to only call 911 if you do encounter Decker on a one-on-one basis, never if it's a rumor or online chatter. But again, you're encouraged not to approach him. Instead, call 911 immediately. As for what's next in this case, we do know that the autopsy results of these 3 little girls will be released tomorrow, which Sheriff Morrison expects that will paint a clear timeline of what really happened. Of course, we're going to stay on top of that and bring you the latest. For now, we're live in Wenatchee. I'm Alejandro Guzman.
So that's the deal going on with this monster. Still looking for him. Like I said, they need to get him in custody, guys. It just needs to happen. Period. The thought of him being out there still, like I said, if I didn't have, I'm not even gonna say what I'm thinking because I'd have been gone already. Just telling you, I gotta wonder how many people are out there looking for this guy too. Just sit like the rest of us, and that's gonna be dangerous.
Yeah, that one guy that had the wilderness stuff, that last huge manhunt.
Yeah,
he ended up found. So
yeah, well, people
they'll find him.
They're people. Somebody's gonna find him. There's enough of us that support the fact that this is a horrible thing. That there's people, whether they're talking about him or not, they're out there looking for him right now. I promise you that, because I know I'd have been out there. Danilo, I remember Danilo.
Yeah.
I covered him pretty in depth. Yeah, we covered him pretty hardcore. That other idiot from Tennessee or whatever, the guy that dressed like a woman, we covered him too. He was found eventually too. But this one here, this to me is a priority over many things. Many things. And like I
Because
said,
if he can do that to his own flesh and blood, who knows what he would be willing to do to a complete
Anybody
stranger.
else. Yes, ma'am. And there's men, I promise you, that are out there right now looking for this. And I hope they find him. I just hope that they turn him in. That's all I'm saying. Thank you for that, Alicia. Guys, there's a link to that story about from CTV News about them exploiting the 2 children with the phony
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe, thank you. check it out, guys, and make sure that you follow that and you don't fall into that, because that's 100. Oh, ignore that. Okay, then we will ignore that. Elisa's posting links for us to ignore. Thank you, Elisa. Everybody ignore that. I don't know why that's doing that. That's weird. Okay. Anyway, on we go. And there's Mama Bear's link, guys. Make sure that you're subscribed, notified, and solidified over there in that channel. And if you haven't done it, what is wrong with you? What you doing with your life? Hell yeah. All right, guys. On we go. Let me see here real quick. Because of the stories that we're covering today, it may eliminate some other things that we're looking at. So at least shorten them down.
Thanks, Chickbait. Hiya, Meg.
All right, Alicia, grab a little box of tissues. Let's hit up some good Samaritans today, guys. Some acts of kindness, some positivity, some awesome people out there in the world doing great things and good things for people. We've seen enough negativity today. Let's celebrate a little bit of positivity for a little bit, guys. Check some of this out. Get some laughs in and get the heck out of here so we can jump on into Mama Bear's channel and check out her awesome story. See what we got here.
Sorry.
I do, Brian. These dogs are trained for that kind of stuff. I have I have absolute faith they could.
They will only fly so far.
He knows how to be a role model.
This is fun.
The happiness has taken all over her. Clearly, she's an open book with her beloved ones.
That's your call.
And the other person is a 5 out of 10. So who wants to be the perfect match?
Kinley, you are a 5 out of 10.
I dressed up in our wedding attire.
Oh my God!
Grandparents missed their granddaughter's wedding due to a cancelled flight, so this gift is for them.
Getting all dressed if he doesn't cry.
It's going to be rereading our vows that we did at the wedding. The first 6 months of our relationship were long.
A stranger and a reassuring handshake under the sky. Truly wonderful. This girl wants to give the gift to a staff member who welcomed her 8 years ago. A special bond.
I want to give you this. Okay.
We're all busy with this life. Her sparing a few minutes for this little creature should be appreciated.
Tyler? Ai, 我的妈！哎呀，小犊子！
Why is there so much toys?
I don't know. All of this dog stuff just showed up at our house.
I don't know. Oh my god!
Nothing can compare to a surprise gift that will surely be your BFF and make them love you forever. A little help counts. Don't underestimate and help a lending hand when your friend needs it.
哎呀，太棒了！
Don't forget you have a life to live, but your parents have only you. Just know that your work is always celebrated by someone you don't know. Modern days, neighbors aren't as close as in the past. It can be true that this is living proof if you want, you will.
Holy, I'm straight Jack and tell that. Don't tell him. Anytime.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
The trees will no longer be cold in winter. Those beautiful ideas.
And some good Samaritans, humanity, and it gives you a little hope, guys. Just a little hope. And I appreciate being able to share that with you when we see all this negative stuff on a regular basis. That's okay, Alicia. I get you every other time, so that's fine with me. Every now and again, it's okay to not. So let's see what we got here. Let me see something here. Let's watch a little, see if we can get a couple laughs out of us out of the end of this show today, guys. For those of you that aren't familiar with, these are just clips, but I thought this could be pretty funny. I'm a little different since we are a true crime channel. This should be a little soothing. Let's see what we got here.
Going on, and they said, I don't know what's up. So I went over to her, and she was like, why?
Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 hilarious cases on Judge Judy.
And went and got it later.
Went and got what later?
The deer.
What'd you do with it?
Ate it.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most notable times where the judge, litigants, or someone else in the courtroom served hilarity. Which Judge Judy case always makes you laugh? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. An offensive coat of paint. Most of us would like to have an amicable relationship with our neighbors, but unfortunately the feeling isn't always mutual.
So he painted the fence that only the side that faced his property, a fence that you put in the contract he was to pay for half of.
That certainly feels like the case here, where the plaintiff is suing the defendant over a painted fence. Let's just reiterate that the side of the fence in question doesn't even face the plaintiff's home.
So now you come home and you see that he has painted the fence that faces his property a color that you didn't like.
So, in essence, he's suing because he doesn't like the color. Things take a sharp turn as the litigant goes on to weave a tale about name-calling and soda can throwing that soon wears away at the judge's last nerve. The whole case is so ridiculous you can't help but laugh.
He picks up a Pepsi can and throws it at me, and I swerved where he couldn't hit me with it. When I swerved, he still hit me in the chest.
Number 9. The extra.
I guess you didn't swerve real good there now, did you, buddy?
Who's too extra. It's not often that Judge Judy's audience steals the spotlight, but that's exactly what happens here.
Plus, you don't want to eat. You don't want to eat that food.
That's life.
No, it's not my life. Not her life. It's not Bert's life.
If you've ever been to a television recording, you'll know that there are specific rules you must follow. Sit quietly and politely, react appropriately in all the right places, and don't draw attention away from the action.
Out. Did you hear what I said? You know who I'm looking at. You got my eyes?
Well, the judge clearly thinks this audience member is in breach of that when she decides to kick him out of her courtroom. The guy's visibly shocked, or perhaps he's just feigning ignorance. Either way, his reaction is hilarious.
Blue, black, out. Out.
What did he do? I didn't even see what he did.
Should it be you? Out. Just go. Say nothing.
Let this be a lesson to us all. You don't have to be a litigant to catch the ire of this judge. Number 8. Roadkill stew, anyone? In this case, an unfortunate deer encounter comes between two sisters. The defendant accidentally hits the poor animal with her sister's car and won't pay for damages because she thinks her siblings should have had better insurance.
She wanted to go to the store. There was an accident. It was unavoidable. She hit a deer, damaged the car, and her defense is you should have had better insurance. Is that your defense?
Yes, that really is her defense. But it's only the second most laughable moment. If you hit an animal, what would seem like the most reasonable solution to you? Turn it into a meal? Yeah, we wouldn't do that either.
No, I put pine straw over it and took the antler and went and got it later.
Went and got what later?
The deer.
What'd you do with it?
Ate it.
But that's exactly what she did. And she even seems offended that her sister turned down the dinner invite.
And she even offered me some, but I'm not having rigor mortis stew.
It did not have rigor mortis, so I went back.
How does the judge keep a poker face throughout this exchange? This is courtroom comedy at its finest. Number 7. Salad with a side of vandalism? We've all felt that disappointment when our takeout finally arrives and something's missing. We might inform the restaurant or even let it slide if it's a one-time situation. But how many of us would demand a full refund over a missing salad dressing? This plaintiff did.
He said he wasn't going to give me full credit, and I said I would like full credit for $12. I couldn't eat anything.
You couldn't eat the sandwich?
Not by that time, because we normally put the salad dressing on the sandwich, too.
To make matters worse, he ordered again 2 weeks later and slammed the door in the delivery man's face, claiming he had credit.
About 2 weeks later, I ordered the same meal, and when the guy driver got there, I said, we have a credit, and I shut the door.
Very grown up of you.
Yeah.
You think that was right?
Come see, come saw.
As pathetic as he is, the law still decrees that it doesn't give the defendants a free pass to vandalize his home. But although he wins his case, the judge deducts the cost of the meal from his claim in a deliciously satisfying and hilariously calculated ruling.
$229.23 less 12. $217.23. Judgment for the plaintiff, that's all.
Number 6. A theatrical recounting. If you're a loyal Judge Judy viewer, you'll know that she wants the facts, just the facts, and nothing but the facts.
Melissa was incapable of doing her work. She was smoking and drinking. Her action became so bizarre, it was hilarious at times, dangerous at times.
If someone tries to embellish their story, she usually shuts them down instantly. In this case, the defendant explains to the judge why he had to let the plaintiff, a former employee, go.
On Saturday the 24th of January, I got on set and I was like, yo, you need to go talk to Melissa. I'm like, what's going on? And they say, I don't know what's up.
He claims that she often couldn't do her work due to being under the influence of various substances. However, the undeniable highlight is his impression of the apparently intoxicated past staff member.
So I went over to her and she was like, boy! Boy!
I got it. I got
Yes, Your Honor.
Amazingly, the judge doesn't get mad, although how she keeps a straight face is beyond us. We were chortling as hard as the witness. Number 5. What a doorknob. Mouthing off to Judge Judy Scheindlin is a surefire way to get yourself kicked out of the courtroom.
Because he has a big mouth, I'm awarding you a judgment against him for $450. Now you can take your blue shirt and go outside, and I'll deal with the rest of them.
That's funny.
Still, after one defendant gets sent out for doing just that, another decides to pile on with a threatening message aimed at Scheindlin. She has him removed too, but he decides to try and get in the last word with a smart-mouth jibe about her qualifications.
That's why you have to have a test for guns.
That's what I have done.
Maybe she have
Well,
a test to be
I
a
have to tell
judge.
you something. I have to tell you something.
Sir, have you heard of the Bar Association? Also, his words might have had more impact if he understood the difference between pull and push. After finally mastering opening the door, he tries one final comeback, only to be drowned out by the sound of the audience's laughter.
Push.
Out.
Take your test to be a judge.
Number 4. Judge Judy learns about Grindr. Who among us doesn't know the anguish of explaining social media to the older generation?
It's actually called Grindr. Grindr, it's an app for your phone or your iPad. It's a social app that tells you where homosexual males are.
When the defendant tells the judge that he met the plaintiff on Grindr, she responds with a blank stare. So, he continues to detail the purpose of the app, and it quickly becomes clear that he wasn't browsing online to make a new friend.
So if what you said is you wanted to make friends, one would think that you wanted to make friends with a contemporary of yours, rather than somebody older with money.
Considering that she'd apparently never even heard of Grindr before now, it's amazing how quickly the judge grasps the situation. She even schools the 23-year-old defendant about how one might use an app to widen their social circles.
If I were looking just to make friends, I wouldn't go on a website that said, you know, it's just for little old Jewish ladies. I would try to expand my horizons a little bit.
He's no match for Judge Judy's sharp tongue or wicked sense of humor. Number 3. Adult business. When Judge Judy asks the litigant to explain her adult novelty business, this clearly wasn't the answer she expected.
We go into homes and hold parties for adults with lotions and potions and vibrators.
That kind of adult party.
Yes.
The plaintiff is suing the defendant for missing or damaged items and reads out the list of affected products, many of which have very on-the-nose names. The judge doesn't need to utter a word. Her face hilariously speaks volumes.
The Bull Whip, one of a set of 2 C-rings, 10 catalogs, Making Love oil, flavors strawberry and champagne, order forms, the Diving Dolphin, Good Head.
By the end, she has her head in her hands, clearly wishing she hadn't asked for so many details. Even by Judge Judy's standards, this is a little more eccentric than a typical day in the courtroom. But it's television gold.
There were also some of the bags that were missing, and erasers, which we use as tasters at our shows. The Eager Beaver, which appeared to be used.
Still, something tells us that Scheindlin won't be calling on the plaintiff's services anytime soon. Number 2. Dumb and Dumber. When litigants enter a courtroom, they have just one job: convince the judge to side with them. And we don't know who needs to hear this, but backing up your opponent's account isn't going to get you there.
Like what? Give me what was stolen.
My wallet.
What was in your wallet?
It was $50.
Okay.
I had to replace all my IDs. I had gift cards in there, my earpiece.
In this case, the plaintiff reads out a list of possessions she claims the defendant stole from her. Only one of the defendants pipes up to politely inform the judge that there was no earpiece among the items he allegedly didn't steal.
There was no earpiece in there, ma'am.
I love it.
It's not often the judge cracks up, but what else can you do when faced with such stupidity? It might have been one of the quickest cases, but it's also one of the funniest.
Judging for the plaintiff for the amount of $500. That's what I think it's worth, madam. Goodbye.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. The Tupperware Lady. Karina Roy has become somewhat of a household name among Judge Judy fans. Roy seemingly mistook the courtroom as a stage for her one-woman show when she recounted her side of the story.
She didn't throw all of her Tupperware on
Yes, she did. Yes,
How did she
did.
Miss Roy, you're standing there, so what you're telling me, she took out each piece of Tupperware from the cupboard and threw it at you?
Her tone is so melodramatic, and every detail is accompanied by an emphatic
Exactly, Stevie.
arm movements. And you know what's got her so rather? It's Tupperware. Who knew something so mundane could be so contentious?
And she said, there's your answer, Karina. Look in that cupboard there. Look in that one. And I go over there. And I open it up. It's kind of on the ground. So I kneel down, and there's my Tupperware, and I grab it.
Watching her dramatic performance is undeniably hysterical, although the judge doesn't seem to think so. Do they give out awards for the most comically ridiculous theatrical displays? If so, we know exactly who we'd nominate.
She's leaning her whole body into me, pointing her finger in my face. How dare you? Don't you even dare. Shame on you. That's it. I want you out of here. And she hit my head with her fingers.
Talk about making the most of your 15 minutes of fame.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this.
Sorry about the echo, guys. My apologies. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. I hope you guys got a couple laughs at least out of that. Getting ready, guys, to bounce on over to Mama Bear's, please, and thank you. Pop on over if you would. We would really appreciate it. Let's drop her link in here one more time, guys. You can just bounce right on over. We can portal over. We put her link in here. Sorry about the echo, folks. I got rid of it. Anyway, that's the end anyhow. So my apologies. But yes, guys, if we can drop her link in here, please portal on over. She's going to be kicking in right around 3 Eastern Standard Time. So about 20 minutes from now, you'll be able to jump in. I'd love to see you all over there. I really appreciate it. It's definitely a great topic to be talking about, and it needs some awareness brought to it. So please, please, please jump on over, subscribe if you haven't yet done it, and at least join us for the show over there today, guys. It's going to be quite interesting. I am looking forward to seeing you all there. Please and thank ya. And if you have not yet done it, please hit the like button. On your way out, share it out, and hope to see you guys very soon. Don't forget to love yourselves, love each other. I'm sorry, Stevie. Don't forget to love yourselves and love each other. Don't change a thing. You guys are the beautiful people. We'll see you guys here in just a few minutes, I hope. Bye-bye, y'all.
Life's a journey. Let's make every moment shine. Together we share our hearts so intertwined. Each time you tune in, we're dancing in sync. With every story told, just let your soul think. A little laughter, some love, we're flying high. As we wrap up this episode, it's not goodbye. News on the airwaves, spreading joy and cheer. Thanks for being with us, we'll see you right here. Kick back, take a breath, leave your worries behind. This podcast is magic, a treasure you'll find. With every moment shared, we light up the way. Join us next time for more laughs and play. A little laughter, some love, we're flying high. As we wrap up this episode, it's not goodbye. News on the airwaves, spreading joy and cheer. Thanks for being with us, we'll see you right here. Kick back, take a breath, leave your worries behind. This podcast is magic, a treasure you'll find. With every moment shared, we light up the way. Join us next time for more laughs and play. So hit that subscribe, keep the vibe alive. We're riding this wave and it's set to thrive. With smiles all around, let's seize the day. In this podcast family, worries drift away. A little laughter, some love, we're flying high. As we wrap up this episode, it's not goodbye. News on the airwaves, spreading joy and cheer. Thanks for being with us, we'll see you right here. So gather round, friends. friends, it's time to reflect. In this joyful moment, what's next to connect? Let's cherish the laughter, the joy that we spread. Together we'll thrive until our hearts are fed. See you next time with stories anew. Can't wait to share more with all of you.